We do go live. Alright, we live. Yeah man, we know Easter Sunday, you know. So you know, so when I see me live, same way. You know, Maria soon come join me. You know, Herb soon come join me. Remember, Sarah is still there on the holiday, yeah? Yes. But Herb soon fly in. Maria have some people around her now, so she soon come on live and everything. But tonight I got same way, you know, because tell me one now, Town Hall, we never put them on here. Yeah? Alright, so hear this. Before Maria come in, we want to play Damon Crawford because we have something to talk about out of Damon Crawford speech the other day. So we want to play that. Yeah? And then we want to play, then we're going to, because let me tell you this, the government, Jano, we really do a terrible job in that. And then I tell myself, so now do good. Nigel Clark now, in a film speech, I don't know if you hear this speech, what I say, them not trust Mark Golding, the opposition leader. And I tell you because him are the opposition leader. The opposition leader for work with the government. And him see him and I cut against the government. But you ever hear anything like this? So I'm going to show him who people not trust. Remember, you know, him not talk about the crab. We can't travel go foreign. And them people that we not trust. Him not talk about vibes when I look at him think that this man is I say, and talk about some people in that party, in that thing that but you can't trust them. But him saying not trust the opposition leader. People are, no. Listen me. Better stop make them mistake them, and every time you use them thing, they will play it back, you know. And you rubbish your talking. Stop it no man. You understand the PR? So we don't trust them at all in Elijah. Can't be trusted. You want to put on the fear, drop down the fear, give the man them raise up fear on this, and then you beg them, say them are crumble the economy. Then you make Vaz come out and I tell them, say, you know, them have to go get some card, forget discount. You never say that. And enough look at thing where you say this with us rubbish shit, we can't trust it. But I could play before they you know they are the host joining, let me just play. Let me play Damon Crawford first, yeah? Alright, watch this.
Is to WhatsApp your group and tell them what to read. That is what you need to do. You cannot tell me,
that's what you
with all due respect, you want to tell me how to vote, how to think, how to read, how to speak. You don't involve yourself today. You must strike that from the record and put it in the WhatsApp group. Tell them what to read. They have read nothing. So you go and tell them what to read.
All I can do is tell the people of
I don't
Jamaica
want
not
nothing
to
more,
be
Mr. President,
misled.
with due respect.
You read the Smith
You
Commission
cannot intervene.
where they were assigning blank detention,
Listen,
blank detention
I
order
want to
and
know
lock up,
from you,
and lock
Mr.
up my
President.
friend Babsy Grange with blank detention form. That you for read.
Mr. President.
And Lambert.
You can just say Monday, detain Babsy Grange with blank detention form. The farm never have enough and none of them that push them thing with them a push. This is the narrative for them up and down with, and yes, still them detain these guys, them wanna do nothing for 2 years and more. That's a dark part father line to tell about dark part too, yeah? Alright, continue.
Yes. Ground you don't even bother start because you walking on very sticky ground.
Yes, alright, I hear you.
Can you imagine? Look now, you have a president. That's it. You know, him did a balance, you know. And him trace everybody. You me start this thing I do. At least me listen to them, you know. But them come out knocking. Eh? I trace. Wanna muzzle the people then. Can't work. Continue.
What I want, Mr. President, if these numbers are untrue, if you're suggesting that a government, which this document is from the government, is willing to be untruthful in the number of guns found, is willing to be untruthful in the number of persons arrested and charged, then why should we feel that you are totally truthful on that side if you're suggesting that this document is not worthy of being read? Why is it that we should think so? But because I wasn't born in 1976, I will move forward to 2018, a period for which I was an adult. In 2018, Mr. President, January, Matthew was there? January 2018, the government put forward that there was a need for a state of emergency. Before that, Mr. President, in May 2010, in advance of the attempts to arrest Christopher Dodoscook, an extradition warrant, a state of emergency, was declared by Prime Minister Golding. Now let us not forget, with all the accusations about who is for and who is not for criminal activity, the greatest defense by a person suspected of criminal engagement was made by the government of the Jamaica Labour Party in 2007. They went as far as to hire lawyers and lobbyists on his behalf. None of them can claim that because the Prime Minister was a senior member of the Jamaica Labour Party, the leader of government business, and a member of the cabinet who made those decisions to defend what the United States referred to as one of the greatest violence producers in the Western Hemisphere. You cannot compete nor compare with me. But in 2018, Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared a public state of emergency in St. James, attributed it to increase in crime and violence in the parish. The Prime Minister said that the level of criminal activities experienced in St. James is of such a nature that, and so extensive in scale, so as to engender public safety. He said in 2017, St. James recorded 335 murders, almost twice more than the parish with the second highest murder in the same period. It has been given to the public that the opposition has never supported the government in a state of emergency. Much to my anxiety and to many of us in debates, the opposition said, give the government the leeway to do what the government was elected to do. It was extended 2017, January 30th, with full support from the opposition. They received an extension 2018, January 30th. It was then again extended May 2nd, 2018, with full support of the opposition, another 3 months. It was then again extended July 27th, with another 3 months to November 1st. It was then again extended October 19th, with another extension to January 31st. And then it continued in 2019. We stopped in December. It come back in 2020 and 2021. Multiple extensions were granted. I'm not going to call no name, but I remember one senator who was going to be absent from that side called to ask someone from this side if they would be willing to give the vote on his behalf. And that was done, and that was granted. That was cooperation from us as the opposition. While we were extending St. James, in March 2018, there was also another state of emergency. It says on Sunday, March 18, 2018, Prime Minister Holness declared state of public emergency in St. Catherine North Police Division, especially Spanish Town, Linstead and Bagwalk. The basis of the declaration was a spike in murders in these areas. This was extended again in March 2018, extended again June 26, 2018, where the Prime Minister said, the next phase of our operation is not so much to go and detain the cornermen. The next phase of the operation is to use the space created and networks that we have uprooted to get to the mastermind and the kingpins. We are in different phase, and you will start to see the impact in months to come, stated the Prime Minister. Therefore, the opposition extended it again in September 2019, September 2018, and this time extended to January 2019. Because the Prime Minister never said in decades to come. He never said in years to come. We figured that if you get a next 3 months, then the months to come should be clear to us what you were doing. We are right back in St. Catherine, seeking another state of emergency. Another state of emergency. I don't know which commission I must read for that one. In September 23rd, 2018, the government of Jamaica declared a state of emergency in central and downtown Kingston. It's about 3 or 4 gone already in 2018. The public must understand that they're seeking 7 parishes, 5 in full, to catch 300 people. 2.7 million people. 300 what kind of people? It's because I know that you are innocent until proven guilty. You have to capture him and then prove that he's a criminal. But once you have enough intelligence, I will support you go to capture him. What I don't support is that you punish an entire community to capture people who are no longer in the community, because all the other states of emergency did not achieve what you claim it will achieve now. All the other states of emergency did not achieve. So why can't I look at historical trends and outcomes and say to myself, as an academic, a statistician, a mathematician, a logical person, that if it never worked year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it now work year 6? Why can't I? Me not take no back of the class disruption today. No back of the class disruption. I soon come to that. Central Kingston downtown, Market District including Denham Town, zones of special operation. There was in Denham Town 2018 a state of emergency and a zone of special operation at the same time, and we're right back there. Why do you think so nobody else have no sense? Why do you feel like I cannot recognize that you're asking for me to join in a game of political football to mask your general incompetence? Why is it that nobody don't think that we see that? And I should feel ashamed when I'm not a part of this political football, not a part of the World Cup? Mr. President, let us look at what has happened in recent time. Let's talk about 70%. Had I known all this time, 2018, when we asked for the crime plan, Senator Donna Scott Motley, you'd have remembered. 2017. Yes. And in 2018, I was admonished by Senator Samuda that I never read the document. Having read the document, it had no tenet of what a plan should include. It had no objective, it had no nothing. The Prime Minister knows, so we have a crime plan because we have digitized the books at the police station. That is evidence of the crime plan. That's like
digitize a book are evidence of crime plan, people. Digitize a book. Eh? Digitize a book. It's a crime plan. So we have phone I use now instead of me write a letter and send out, I write a little thing and send out. We can just text you now and do all kind of thing. I digitize a book in a them time. And that's a crime plan. When them get that from. You see it? Continue. We could continue.
Like watching football now, Senator Sophia Fraser-Binns, I don't know if you're a fan, and say, yes, France have a method of play because they're kicking the ball. Kicking the ball is the least of what to design a method of play. But they said that we should go and read it. If we knew in 2018 that the World Cup was a crime plan, we wouldn't ask for it in 2019. If we knew the World Cup was a crime plan, we wouldn't ask for it in 2020. We'd have just wait upon the World Cup. But if the World Cup is the crime plan, it is going to be short-lived. Disingenuous and untruthful communication. Let us look at some of the realities that we have historically when there is a World Cup. Let's look at some of it here. All right. The internet, they don't want me to tell you the one, so I'm going to go up on the phone. We have to prepare, you know. We have to prepare. Let's go. Mr. President, in a clandestine and underhanded effort to gain the benefits of the World Cup, the government and the Prime Minister ignored all trends that crime was increasing since April of 2022. Since April of 2022. I want to go back to the Prime Minister's budget presentation. And in his budget presentation, the Prime Minister said in March, murder was down by 5%. You remember that? Now that we see this kind of political machinations, we have to wonder if numbers are being funged to make certain speeches sound good at certain times. But what happened in March, I said murder was down by 5%. Then, in April, murder was up by 1.8%. This silver bullet of a state of emergency was not suggested in April when murder was up. If it's even one life, they like to say. Then, in May, murder was up 6.5%. He says, no, hold the line. Wait for the World Cup. Because if we wait for the World Cup,
excuse me,
people are
Mr. President,
thank you,
point of order.
To Google this. Thank you.
Mr. President, this is the third time, to my recollection, that the Speaker has imputed improper motives, not just to someone from the lower house, but to the Prime Minister of the country. And I think it is something that we need to put a stop to. It is improper. For example, he has said it's 35-5 of your standing orders, Senator Scott Motley. It's stated there. So, Mr. President, he has stated, one, that the Prime Minister has indicated that the World Cup is a part of the crime plan. He has not stated that. He has also implied that the numbers have been fudged by the Prime Minister, and more than anything else, that one.
The Prime Minister fudged a lot of things. I'm a tough fact. What's your talk about number? Who she? You know why? Look at us remind us something. This is the same Prime Minister stand up in the house. Yeah? Because the upper house are them up there in the Senate. So them they are the lower down the Senate they up there, and them they down here, so legislators. And say a gang by the land, gang, criminal gang send the land over Clifton. Him say it. And him turn out to the captain and everything, and then come back, come tell me, say, you know, a false, that and that. Remember him stand up and say it. We should talk about Prime Minister like Jamaica Prime Minister, good Prime Minister. What happened to her? Eh? You're the lightest man chat about, you know. The best baby father per idea. Eh? Alright. We could continue to play this.
He has to be made to withdraw that. Twice he has said the numbers have been fudged by the Prime Minister of this country and that they are questionable. So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, sorry, 35-5 of the standing orders.
All right, Mr. President, have you ruled? Thank you.
Senator Crawford.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Go ahead, sir. Oh, thank you, sir.
well, just give me a second. Crawford.
Yes, sir.
My straight question to you is the use of the word. Have you accepted it?
Use
that
of
you
what
had
word,
used?
sir?
The word that has been pronounced by Senator Campbell. The words that were used.
The senator suggests that I was impugning motive on the Prime Minister to say that the World Cup was a crime plan.
No, the word.
The second one is more.
That, again, sir, I said if you are suggesting that the document that I read from the government was not satisfactory and sufficient and should therefore be relied upon the commission, should we also question those numbers?
No,
I
Mr.
would never claim that, sir.
No, Mr.
I
President.
don't think that they... All right, sir. Until it can be provided, can I continue, sir?
No, Mr. President. No.
Okay.
That was the first time he said it. He said it just a minute ago as well.
Yeah, man, get the answer and we talk.
Yes.
Because I'll be here
and
for
that is what is being requested. And
Thank
that,
you, sir.
that situation.
And when we get there,
all right,
we will see the fudging.
Yeah.
That is happening. Mr. President.
Mr. President, the time being 1:20. I ask that the Senate be allowed to sit beyond 1:30 to complete the business of the day.
Question is at the time being 1:20 that the Senate be allowed to sit beyond 1:30 to complete the business of the day. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Sir, I'll just quote some statistics for which many Jamaicans are aware of the impact of a World Cup on crime statistics. In 2018, Mr. President, the World Cup was June 10th to July 15th, 105 murders and 90 shootings. This was 52 murders less than the equal year and equal period 2017, June 10 to June 15. And also, sir, this was 66 shootings less than June 10 to June 15. So in the period, and you can write it down so you can check it. Not even one, but I soon come to that. So I see Matthew want to check it, so I'll repeat. The impact of World Cup on crime. World Cup 2018, between the periods June 10th and June 15th, Jamaica had 52 less murders than equal year in 2017. They also had 66 less shootings than equal year. World Cup 2014, June 10 to June 15, Jamaica had 87 murders compared to 116 2013 same period. If I should do a quick mathematics, that is going to be 2107. That's about 30 less murders in that period. So to come in front of us to claim that there is some trend that exists in 1 week, Senator Bunting, as an engineer, could you take a trend from 1 week of activity and they ignore what happened in Augustown that went 1 year without a murder? And they have not proposed a replication of Augustown, but are proposing an extension of 1 week. And they never have zero like Augustown. When it failed in Augustown, Augustown lambasted the government for their disinterest in what they employed. In fact, the government have often claimed that the peace management initiative is of no real moment. I've heard the Minister of Security say, we spend so much money on community intervention, and yet crime is still up. If I should carry his... We have done it already, sir.
You're sure, President? The Speaker's time having expired may be granted a few minutes to complete his presentation.
What is it? What's the question?
The Speaker's time having expired, can he be granted sufficient time to complete his presentation?
Members should have heard the question. Those in favor?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we come back, Mr. President, to set in the foundation of my assumption of political gamesmanship being played at this particular point in time. The improper accusations are being made of the opposition as we were unaware that the game was declared. So we were not participating in the gamesmanship. But since March of 2020, there has been a sustained increase in murders in this country, and the silver bullet of the state of emergency was not proposed until World Cup to then gain the benefits of World Cup. Gabby asks how convenient, let I tell you. April, murders was up 1.8%. If state of emergency was so great, it should have been called in April. However, another 130 Jamaicans died by May. By May, it was up 6.5%. Nobody said, let's put in a state of emergency. No chief technical director, no commissioner, no, me not go, because I'm a part of one of them organizations then. They even if fees pay. And I accept that we have a difference in opinion. If the PSOJ and the JMEA and the Craft Market and the Egg Farmers Association and the Goat Farmers Association, if they have a different opinion opinion than mine, fine. And if they want to express it, I accept that expression. But do not feel that I don't have a right to my own opinion as well. I have a right to my own opinion. So when I hear Senator Rodriguez going to say, how dare you go against the police and you don't know as much as the police. 90% of the Jamaica people said they had no confidence in the commissioner. Why can't I be one of that 90%? So what I'm saying is that you move again, that in June it was up 1%. In July it was up 1%. In August it was up 4%. In September it was up 8%. Nobody called a state of emergency to save at least one life. Nobody said, oh, let us do it and risk it not showing up. Let us do it when the World Cup is on so that we can claim 70% in 1 week. What happened in August, in September? You know, I'm glad you laugh because I have a quote for you now. I have a nice quote for you. The commissioner said that in September there were 18 double murders and 1 triple murder. Why wasn't it called if it was so great? I see Senator Golding of good pedigree, Bruce Golding, is in agreement, looking over with great agreement on me. Yes, attentively, and I enjoy it. I like that. Not disrupting me like some other senators over there. The commissioner said, and I quote, in the month of September alone, there were 19 incidents of multiple murders, 18 double murders, a triple murder amounting to 39 victims. The commissioner said that. Nobody mentioned in September, the whole October done. And it never come in till right before World Cup. When it is coming back down. The police is saying that the trends were suggesting it's coming back down. But make a look again. In October, it was up another 7%. And it's not until, I think, what, the 15th of November? The silver bullet is being commissioned. Why the senators never write something in April? Why the groups? What them name? The craft. Me and them, my friend. I write the craft policy. Why craft vendors never say, in September, we are demanding of the government? Why they never did that? I don't have a problem with the PSOJ because the PSOJ have a right to their opinion. But I'm saying to the PSOJ, I invite you to take a trip with me and go down to St. James and recognize that most police stations don't have a working police car.
Him right, man. Hey, never stop him there, son. PSOJ. A long time when you hear somebody touch them, don't it? You ever touch them? Them arms also, you know. Them mash up the country, man. Them with some government to favor them. Yeah? Mash up the country. Yeah, man.
I will talk soon. I soon quote, man. Just wait, no, man. Be careful. Don't show up yourself. Wait. You will have your time. You will have your time. But you know, can come with me then, hold on. All right. I've been instructed. Make a look. I did some research. But all I said was that I invite the members of these groups, PSOJ, JMEA, craft vendors, to come and make us do a tour, and we will see the cars. And if we see the car, we say, oh, I stand corrected, I see the cars. So what's wrong with the invitation to do a tour? You asked earlier, did you meet? Didn't they ask earlier, did you meet with John Brown, Mary Jane, and Chantal? So now we say, let's meet on a site.
On a point of order, Mr. President. On a point of order.
Okay.
The member is misleading the Senate.
1 minute. 1 minute. Senator Crawford. Give me a minute. Yes,
Mr. President, the member of the Senate has misled his colleagues and by extension the entire chamber and the country, and that comment must be withdrawn. The police stations in St. James have working vehicles. That is impatient of debate. He must withdraw the comment or it must be struck from the record. Nothing, no gossip.
All right, you'll have a chance to make him think, sir.
Continue.
ruling, Mr. President. And I'm on my feet, so you must sit when I'm on my feet at the same time.
No, but in fairness, he had sat down, you know.
Yes.
So what he's saying is that what you're saying is not correct.
So
But
therefore you're
no,
saying that I'm saying he's lying.
No, but I never said that. But if you listen to me, what I'm saying, you know.
Make the ruling.
What he has said is not really a point of order.
Right.
He has given what he considers to be correct information.
Correct.
But your information, he says, is not correct. You are saying it is correct. So continue and then
Yes.
he can correct it
No,
later.
sir. I'm not only saying my information is correct. No. I'm saying his information is incorrect as well. Because Maroon Town don't have a working vehicle currently. St. James. Maroon Town. I see him getting the information. Spring Mountain, Montego Hill.
So you see me tell us so them now have information before them chat. You have to be careful of them, you know. Because them get up and chat, but they may not back down because they make sure doing work. You have to do your research. You have to do your thing first. You know, get up and come talk. You know, that's going with me and Janko jacket still, you know. Yes. Yeah, man. Continue, Damian.
And Coral Gardens have one. Sometimes not working. All right, Mr. President, I'm going to now say that many entities in St. James don't have sufficient vehicle for them to execute their, because I don't want it to be semantics. Okay, so I'm now saying that because sufficient is as important.
So you start
Okay, all right, so I accept. I invite the PSOJ, the JMEA, the craft vendors to come and see that sufficient vehicles are not within the spaces, and therefore all that needs to be done is not being done. I come back to the businessman. I come back to the businessman. I give a mason more block, more steel, more sand, more gravel, more cement to make less house. And I shouldn't question why making less house. The things the JLP is trumpeting to be applauded for, they should be ashamed of that, oh, we spend more money and you're getting less outcomes. You're getting less outcomes. With much less money. Senator Bunting as Minister of Security perform better than every single year. Every single year. And no state of emergency. We come again. We come again. Where was I again? They need an operation truck, etc. I will go further to show the lack of commitment which cannot be questioned. There was a position stated in 2017, I think November 2017. That position was the Office of National Security Advisor. Senator Brown, you remember the Office of National Security Advisor? The current commissioner was brought in to take up that. It says, the Prime Minister said, consistent with international best practices in other jurisdictions such as UK, Canada, US, India, Australia, and in the pursuance of a strategic national security management, a national security advisor is the principal technical advisor to the government. Who is that person now? Since the commissioner left that post and became the commissioner, why we don't want to be consistent with UK, Canada, US, India, Australia, and all these other places? Who is that person now? If all is being done. The chief advisor to the government, the prime minister, and is missing. Is no longer in position. Is that a lie? We're going to show lack of commitment. CMAC. You know about CMAC? Yes, ma'am. It is the crime monitoring, what is CMAC again? Oversight Committee. The chairman of CMAC, Senator Bunting, you need to hear this. The chairman of CMAC, I want some water. They can't deny this. This is a quote. He says, the PMP has remained committed to CMAC since its inception. I quote, unquote. This time. Lie distant. A member of the PSOJ and the JMEA and all of those A's that exist. He then goes further to say, and I quote, the Minister of National Security over the last 6 months had essentially taken a policy position not to take part in the proceedings, but that has now been changed. Commitment. When you make a policy decision not to partake in the Crime Management Oversight Committee and then come to say you're asking for us to agree when you make yourself absent. We now look into these things. Aren't we seeing what's happening? When they say, who is going to talk for the rights of the people who are murdered? I don't understand that question, because with all the states of emergency, more people have been murdered almost every single year. So when you come and then change in the circumference of reference, Senator Fraser Benzi have 2 sons. I heard you had to remind some people before I came today that you have 2 sons. Imagine when they pass to Kingston College, they're going to carry home them book. When they pass to Kingston College, they're going to come now and say that, you know, I fail maths but I pass indices. Is that sufficient? And when they say, what do you mean I fail maths? They say, well, in the part that I study, I pass it. That's why the government is coming to the country. The government is saying we failed in the total of the nation, but the part that I study, we pass it in St. James. When Manchester is under siege, when St. Mary is under siege, when Portland now is getting 200% more than it used to get. The total number. And the government wants us to accept that there are neighborhood watch, that in the neighborhood it is all right. Not even the commissioner can come and say that in a part of Jamaica I'm doing okay, ignore the other parts. And we must accept and move forward. But I'm speaking also for the police officers. What about their rights? Who have been treated as not just servants but almost slaves. We don't forget the food that they used to get, the soldiers and the police. With millions of dollars being spent on porta potty. Why these things will not remain in the country? That millions of dollars was spent on the rental of porta potty for an activity that they expected to last for years. And should I buy the porta potty? We need to find out who rented those porta potties.
You know, people, I have to cut it right this because new gen, only a new gen, when the newbie, when the newbie, what when newbie or something? And you have the porta potty them we went back to the government. You have part of them. Hey, them people, them not easy, you know, appear nepotism and cronyism going on in Jamaica right now. You know? The one of the man them line themselves, them get money and them just invest in that, and when you look at the government techniques from them. See? No check and balances. Same like I say 400 million, just give it to them friend. You mean right? Yeah? You could have buy the porta potty then. But no, you rent them, I rent the police bar, them I rent these little things. And you how much hundred and millions of cars. And money chopping, man. Chopping, man. Yeah, man.
We're going to come further again. They promised the police SOE pay and ZOSO pay. To this day, none of them have gotten SOE pay and ZOSO pay. Them tell me if you come today for talk against that. Their rights. Talk about that. Because what happens, Senator Brown, is that them get 10 hours per week for overtime pay when some of them are being asked to work 30 hours more. Because with all the state of emergency, no additional resources or not sufficient additional resources are being sent to man these states of emergency. Knowing that the state of emergency is the intent of the government, it has not been a part of the discussions for the pay of the police moving forward. The Minister of Finance ignored that part of the crime plan and have not put in that conversation. That with what we expect of you, your pay should be different and increased. Why should we not speak to the police officers? Mr. President, I call upon the groups asking for the extension of the state of emergency to do a study on the degree retention in the security force. My information is less than 10% of people who go in with a degree stay in that police force because they're feeling that they're being abused by the requests and requirements that are being made of them. You're doing everything for the police force, and you're not doing that. The Prime Minister was blatant in saying one young man, 15-year-old, was found with a gun, and he's going to make sure, or not he, coming on, may have to be careful. They want to make sure that he's an example to all the other 15-year-olds.
That's true.
You think so locking up a 15-year-old for 15 years is a better example than making sure them have food when them go to school? Because right now the schools are saying them cannot feed the children. We have more people in Jamaica who are in the pool for gangs than the pool for the police force. Because within our education system, 28% of them is getting what the police force require. So every time 100,000 people do that, only 28,000 can go to the force. The other 72,000 is more for the gang. What have they done to change that? The Minister of Education go on the radio to say she knew it was insufficient, but them have to go and make it work. And you're going to tell me that you have done sufficient? You don't listen to the radio, so you don't know. You listen to every station? Oh, you want to talk about that? She also said, no, but she don't listen to every station, so I don't know. She also said, because you're busy, you're in charge of the whole foreign affairs. You were in charge of foreign affairs. I couldn't expect that you listen to local radio all the time. You have to listen to foreign radio. She also said, this is the example of disingenuous communication. No, man, may I talk today? Disingenuous communication. In an effort to mislead the country, the Minister of Education stated that she gave a big number. Is it true most Jamaicans never see these big numbers before? It's so enough. She said that she gave 8.8 million for the 4 months for 907 children. A person who don't know the value of money say, what? I see on the internet them start to say the principal is a thief. I see them say that there needs to be an investigation. Simple mathematics for 8.8 million for 907 children for 70 days is $121, I mean. $121 a day per meal. Well, 1 meal I'm getting. 1 meal. 1 meal. So instead of saying that it is true that 121 cannot purchase a meal, she goes further to say that it is not to make a profit. How can 121 make a profit? A regular small food is $350. If they were making 102% profit, everybody would have sell small food. It can't buy nothing. And we wonder why in our non-traditional schools there is a recruitment pool of persons not showing up for school. And you say you've done everything? We don't see sufficient evidence that you are doing anything to make we don't need a state of emergency 2027. We don't see no evidence that you are doing anything to make we don't need a state of emergency 2030. And so when you come and ask for 30 days, how many 30 days? 46 this time? How many 46 days? We can't support this one. We have supported many. We have bite with tongue. We have class with hands. We have close with eyes. We have felt the pain of all the young men that have been scraped up. Most recently, 300 and odd was scraped up. The leader of the opposition spoke to it. The vast majority could not have been charged. Right now in St. James, I think is 1 in detention. Don't worry yourself. I'm the backup. You see when I'm Gabby, yeah, me at the backup. Yes, I'm the backup. I am talking for Gabby today. Me I talk for Gabby. Yes. Put me in, coach. Put me in. Yeah, man, listen, man. I win and never lose, so therefore, no matter what, Tivoli Garden next, I'm down there. Put me in, coach. Defending the people. I am defending that person who wants to keep a party this Christmas, who haven't been able to earn nothing throughout the whole period that you had locked down this country and locked down St. James. I want to say that the person who wants to look for him auntie shouldn't need a letter, and he's not a criminal. I want to say that without adequate lockups, you shouldn't carry the regular man and go lock him up with the worst of criminals for 2, 3, or 4 days. And when we remember Mario Dean, I tell you, we do like we don't remember history. He went in for a spliff and he came out dead. The people who are jumping up are unlikely to suffer this indignity. That indignity. And all I'm saying, please accept that it is possible that outside of political gamesmanship, because there's no political gain. What stupid analysis is that we are seeking political gain by not voting for it, when everything is going against us politically by not voting for it. If there's any evidence of conscience, it is now. It is now. The funders and possible funders have said, no, do what we say. We propose. The people in many communities are saying we want more police, we don't understand, are they going to move? And we are saying that there is a court ruling, a constitution, and a reality that we still feel that this is not necessary. So to claim that we should be ashamed, that's why I make sure I come today in a Senator Bunty. Come never have a car. But me want everybody to know I'm not ashamed. I was, but I would have convinced him to don't vote, as I don't bother. I don't want a person to feel. I sat the last time and take that lambasting from the president about if we are elected. I'm appointed to do a job, and I took an oath on that job. Yes. And I'm standing up for those who are of the feeling that more should be done for the cameras, the Jamaica Eye. That should be in the letter. The Jamaica Eye, not even government buildings don't have Jamaica Eye. More should be done for the body-worn cameras.
It is.
More should be done for the anti-gang legislation.
Hey, sister. Happy Easter, you know.
Greetings, my brother. Happy Easter to you.
Yes, ma'am. Happy Easter, man.
Happy Easter to you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We just stay
happy Easter to you and your family. Yeah, happy Easter to you and your family and to everybody in the chat. Happy Easter.
You know? Yes, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that.
All right. We'll finish up the day, man, you know, because, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we'll finish up the day, man, and then we'll play something where it draw away out. But hold on. Soon play it. Hold on.
The most recent that we all forget is out by the land that was being sold, accused to be now in Portmore, in Clifton. It was said in this house that it was a gang that they say was associated or supportive of the People's National Party. To this point, is one person get arrested. Why the anti-gang not kicking to make this person then now get in the rest of the gang? From the Prime Minister's constituents. Watch we again now. More need to be done with education. More need to be done with spending on the less fortunate. More need to be done with community policing and PART program. More need to be done with the violence interruption and the engagement of things like the TMI, the PMI. More needs to be done with intervening in the communities. more need to be done in finding the 200 car that was supposed to come for the police, and it still don't come. The letter should have said that. The bandolo. And you're telling me you're doing all that you can. Mr. President, I say again, having given multiple yes, that today is a definite.
Well, may I tell you, your sister, you might not let me go in at them, you know, because with them lies and things, with them always come with, I mean, nobody not stupid. Yes? I mean, you see, when I finish, I'm going to pray, I make a talk, I'm going to play something where we're rubbish. Because we see JLP come out and I say, you can't trust the opposition leader. And he might tell me why. Because the opposition leader rubbish them. I'm going to show him who he must, who we can't trust when it comes to this. Stop, my sister, because we soon go rub him out. Yes, man.
Yeah, you know, when I heard the speech first, I thought to myself, you know, this is worthy of, you know, hearing again for those for those in the back who didn't hear it before. And it is something that is everything he says is something that you have been saying over and over again. See, he brought up the 200 cars for the police. Where are they? So he's echoing that what you have been saying. And I like the way he speaks because he breaks things down so the ordinary person can understand what is being said. So this is one of the reasons I like Damian Crawford and how he puts when he does his speeches he puts a lot of thought into it. You know, because there's another speech that he did that I listened to earlier today, which is pretty much the same thing, breaking things down and helping people to understand that, like you said, they changed the narrative, but they did not change the nation. So this is a very good speech, and this is what we have been talking about for forever, and we'll continue to talk about until things change.
So you see, sister, them are trying to play politics, you know, with these things because
Yeah.
the speaker them too, you know, the speaker them the right, you know, and the president that a dark father-in-law, and the other one there, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't be wrong, right and wrong at the same time. That, you know,
yes. So for them to know,
when something
balance,
is wrong, it is wrong. Yeah.
Them no balance. So what them try to do, them try, you know, shut up the PMP people them when them make them speech. And attack them. And that to stop. You need to stop. Anyway, make us show you.
Yeah, but
yes, sister.
Yeah. No, I was saying finish it first, and then we can go back to the thing there. Finish it first, and then we can.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
Nigel Clark now, and this way I'm doing. I'm gonna check off about things. So I'm gonna show him who we not trust. Him think him attack to Marky G. Him think him slick, you know. And him not understand say man Nancy, you know. Yeah, man, him a joker Nancy, man. Yeah, he's a clown Nancy. Because you know Nancy like trick people back in the Fort Law Nancy. He might come with the same thing and understand so that we just take that for us some look a Fort Law thing. And it make him look more and more stupid. Look here where he must write as a people. Hear this.
This, Madam Speaker, is a problem. It's a problem for Jamaica. And you know why it's a problem for Jamaica? Because government and opposition have to work together.
So, he must say government and opposition want to hear this. Just hear this. I'm going to show him something.
Sometimes. Yeah? And so the opposition leader contradicting, undermining, and emasculating the very people he has appointed, Madam Speaker, is inimical to constructive working relationship.
So him said he might undermine the very people he appointed. That's a foolishness, garbage. Now play, I'm show you something.
Cannot be trusted. This, Madam Speaker, is a problem. It's a problem for Jamaica. And you know why it's a problem for Jamaica? Because government and opposition have to work together.
But when an opposition no work with nobody, when it's a dark there, even when you know it's a crap. No, mash up the place when opposition are holding our account because opposition did if you oppose when it's not right, you know. Sorry, this.
Exactly.
Them did if you oppose when things are right, Maria?
Exactly.
But you know, you know that if you agree with government when they mash up the whole people, that'll make you a part of them. It don't work like that. You understand?
Yeah, but this is a very troubling speech.
You have to hold them, the opposition have to come out. Them not have the purse, by the way. So they have to come make the people.
No, they don't have the power of the purse. No, they don't have the power of the purse. Right.
No. Right? They have to know what going on. But him got talk about cannot be trusted and I talk about, you know, him undermine. To Philip Falwell get up and say him second. You know, that but them couldn't stop neither, and then she come with her foolishness. And then somebody said something to him show it. It don't make no sense. That's rubbish. Let me show
Yeah,
you
because
who
somebody had said something about Baz's wife and he brought that up.
Yeah, I'm going to show you who we not trust around there. Let me just start here. These are the main one where we not trust. Look here.
You can have great ideas. And if you have great ideas, I am a person that respects ideas. What I do, I give credit. But if you have a good idea, don't let it go to waste. Give it to me, let me implement it.
So yeah, what him want to do? Him want people idea. Him can't be trusted, number one. Him can't be trusted.
That's basically plagiarism. Yeah, that's plagiarism anyway. That's plagiarism. People say things and claiming it for yourself. That's plagiarism.
Him can't be trusted. We're not done with him yet, as he works. But Ligel himself, we look on the SSL. When him tell we say, FBI, then the Jamaica matter of fact, them advance the amount of line, no stone and turn. On the same him live up in the stone and now. Him not have no credibility, none at all. You have to remind him of these things. Not your sister. Him can be trusted, Ligel Clark. Him can be trusted, sister.
No, he can be trusted, but you know, no, he cannot trust him. But go back to his speech on Tuesday, how he started out that speech. And he said he gave a red card. And I'm like, how can he give a red card to Mark Golding, ignoring what his prime minister did the following week, the previous week, Tuesday, last week, Tuesday? That should not have been ignored, because that which he did was so disrespectful, not only to the opposition, but to the people that he's elected to lead. So that was so disrespectful. And they didn't apologize for that. So it's as if their behavior must be accepted, no matter how diabolical that behavior is. And the other most egregious thing that he did was he came and he spoke and he said, the last line in his statement was, "Do not touch Juliet." Who the hell is Juliet?
You know, so Mrs.
No. And I'm thinking to myself, does he realize how backward his statement is? Because who is Juliet? Is she a member of the private sector, out in the private sector, minding her business? Is she a teacher? Is she, who is she? She's a member of parliament, right? Now, if she's a member of parliament, she's open to scrutiny and criticism. On top of that, she is Speaker of the House. Makes her open to even more criticism and scrutiny. So when he's saying do not touch Juliet, then what they need to do is remove her from those positions and put her back in private life so nobody has to talk about her. Because nobody called his wife's name. Don't know what his wife's name. Nobody mentioned his wife's name, said anything about her. And the reason they didn't do it, because she's not in parliament. She's not in the government. Nobody mentioned Julian Robinson's wife, because she's not in parliament, she's not in the government, she's not in the opposition. So nobody can talk about those people. And another thing he said, he talked about Damon Crawford calling Darrell Vaz wife name, and Darrell Vaz said, talk about me, but don't talk about my wife. Then take a little skettle and put her back in her private life and let her stay there so nobody can talk about her or her behavior. As long as she's a sitting member of parliament, somebody's going to talk about her, as long as she's not doing the things that benefit the people. So they should remove themselves from the situation that they have to be critiqued, and nobody will talk about them. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes, sister, you just say, speaking about Skettle now. Let me just show you a video. Because we're not after that trust thing, we don't have to fight it. But you say Skettle, let me just show you a video here. People look on them cheap video, for look, vote and talk about a crap. Look who this, look here.
What me say?
Exactly.
When you can walk on road and you put now pop off in a pothole, how you feel? When you know say your government provide road for citizens in comfort. Yes, sir! Cap it!
Really?
Cap it!
Wow.
I am in Comfort Castle. And I know how I always talk about the glad bag bus. Right? But this is not glad bag bus. I am overjoyed because thanks to the government of Jamaica, history has been created in Comfort Castle. We are in the square. Never the citizens of this community never knew that this was happening. And I want to thank our government for listening to the cries of the people and the action team for ensuring that this is a reality. Now, social media has made all of us become road engineers. So before I say anything, I want you to see that the curb and channel is put in to protect the car pit.
What is people? Yeah.
No, social media. I feel so proud. Me say me just a take picture, me just a send out picture, me boss. Me say me just a take picture, so. Oh my God. Wonderful. The whole week. Easter week.
We always boil the tar and throw the tar with a crushed stone. And over 50 of the years, this would have done. So you can imagine. So me say, what Bloomfield, Donald Rod, and Sam Lawrence could not do, along with PJ, Michael Manley, and Jonas, and Marie Vaz have done it.
Rubbish.
So this stuff, this is garbage now. And
Rubbish. That's rubbish.
No, you could have voted this money like this now. When the whole place we are fixed, you know. The whole place we are fixed. That not fixed, you know.
No.
That the road not fixed. Yeah, that not fixed.
Because he's not a civil engineer.
Politics for them paid people.
Exactly, and the people are so. But you know something. Wayne.
Yes.
You know something. The reason that they do these things is that they can keep the people beholden to them. They don't want them to be educated and edified voters, so they can be informed voters and vote for their interests. She out there talking about carpet Shirley, and he would his stupid stuff about what Donald Rod and Sam Lawrence, Michael Malley couldn't do.
That's where I show
really, when was that? When was that road cut? Yeah, but when was that road cut? I'm quite sure that road was not cut. It wasn't cut during Andrew Holness administration. No, the duty of a government is to maintain the road. So she cannot come out there and talk about Andrew Holness. Every government is supposed to do infrastructure, maintenance, fixing, all of that for roads. So that is nothing special about the Andrew Holness-led administration. And when you have these people coming out and praising her, and it's nonsense. People, you need to elevate your thinking. Come out of them kind of gutter politics, because that's gutter politics. Because while she is showing them that she that's the point.
We can show them what I Portland right now, mash up, you know. Me have them, you know. Me show that we can show them up there.
So she laid the carpet way. But she laid the carpet. She laid the carpet, and a shower of rain that is gone. That is gone. You know why it is washed away and the money go down the drain again? Because the persons who are employed to do the work are not qualified to be doing that kind of work. They're not civil engineers. They're not civil engineers.
Mr. Chairman, it said the road not fix good, it not fix. I just a cat down, you know, just a social media. They could put in what? It not fix good. You get me just cover the road. All right, let me just draw it for this, but you may not stick to it. Now show you what them use and trick people all the time. And everybody
they need to elevate themselves from that.
Yeah? If you say what she has, but she can get some chicken back and some chicken food something or the other, you know. She can't get a handout too. This is how them trick people and then them video it, sister, and put it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But there's there was one this week. Yeah, there's one this week about the lady with the donkey and saying how Andrew give her a road. Andrew don't give her any road. Taxpayers paid for that. It's the taxpayers paid for that. So yeah, it's not out of his pocket.
Use it, money.
Yes.
Cam should have fixed the road a long time.
Yes.
You know,
And giving her one donkey.
use she, like you say, like when the man use the Rasta bedroom there. We say cut to man throat. He said sad.
Peanut dread.
Because most of Jamaica mash up and stay bad, you know. Remember the 40 billion a little eight, you know, me have the road, I've never showed it. See, all the bridge not fixed yet. The bridge don't sell not fixed yet.
Tri-bridge, yes.
Yeah. I'm sure in some place of break down, you'll cry shame. I have them, man. Yeah? She said, in a history, and you still with a Portland mash up right now. You can't show everything with a Portland mash up same way. Mash up. See? Don't be just show the market this morning. So we go into the thing, man, I'm show you some road at Portland, I know it not fix. I know them not touch. But she says, getting me, I show you, you know, fear behavior.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these, but here's the thing, she's a member of parliament, and you'd think she'd set a better example, having risen to that occasion and being in that position. But like Rex Nesford once said, the late Rex Nesford, a butu in a Benz is always a butu. Right? Because if it was somebody else, if it was somebody else, they'd have been a PNP person, they'd have been raked over the coals for that kind of behavior, and worse. But she's lauded, right? She's lauded for this kind of outlandish and vulgar behavior. She needs to take it someplace else. She's not qualified and fit to be in the parliament. So when Nigel is saying, and Darrell Vaz is saying, talk about him, but don't talk about his wife. Keep your wife at home then. Nobody wants to talk about her. Keep her at home. Where nobody will see her and nobody has to hear her behave like that. Is that how young women must conduct themselves, and is that what young women must emulate? We have to raise the standard. The standard was raised, The wholeness has dropped it down so far that not even ants can crawl underneath that. How low it is. The standard is so low, starting with this JLP administration. When it comes to governance and politics in Jamaica.
Not true, sis. You can't even put a piece of trade or them drop the standard. They can't put a little piece of trade.
It's standard, not even trade. Exactly. Not even trade. It is so low.
No
it
standard.
Is so low. So how is it going to be changed?
Double drop.
Yes. So when he's talking about don't call my wife's name, as long as she's a member of parliament, her name will be called. Her name will be called.
Yes. So my complaint
and the same thing goes for Juliet, as in he called her, and telling the opposition leadership said what? Who happens to be rubbish. He did not disrespect her. He did not denigrate her. He spoke about the seat, the position, the chair she held, and what the speaker was in. As a matter of fact, this was started by Dalrymple, and she had to vacate the chair because of her own investigation. And Juliet Hornis now came and picked up what added onto it. And so instead of tabling it as she should have, as you have broken down before in the week, that it was her duty to table it because of how the protocol of how the Auditor General submits her reports, especially when it is done by her, because it's her portfolio to do so, as against when the Parliament asks for that investigation to be auditing to be done. So there are two different things there that apply. So the Auditor General is well within her right to send it to her, and she chose not to table it. When she said she needs an opinion from the Attorney General. Okay, what is the opinion of the Attorney General? I'm not telling you. What do you mean you're not telling the government? You're not telling. And the opposition is a part of the government. What do you mean not telling Jamaican people who pay you what the decision is? Then you should not be in that position. And since she's so delicate that her husband, who happens to be the Prime Minister, using Nigel Clark's phrasing, her husband, who happens to be the Prime Minister, has to defend her. So much so he has to be big, bad and bold and walk out of Parliament like the opposition leader who is duly elected and has the right to make his presentation. could no longer make his presentation because the Prime Minister walked out defending his wife, then send her home. Since she cannot put her big girl panties on and take the heat because she's in the kitchen, then she needs to stay home. And this is not about, it's not about being derogatory and not wanting women to aspire to certain positions in the country. That's nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with her not doing her job and adhering to the traditions and norms that have worked for decades under many administrations. Why is it different now? Why is she now reprimanding the clerk and reprimanding everybody when she needs to reprimand herself or remove herself from the position? That's what she needs to do.
That's right. So we're going back to Nigel now. Nigel, when him say, can't trust the opposition leader. The opposition leader have no trust deficit. Andrew Holness and himself. Because when he run out in the SSL and some things, when me him talk, when they ask him about Andrew account, him say him never hear. Everybody here and just say him close him account. And if they right side of Andrew, this is how him lie. Him too lie, man. Eh? And him talk about trust. Look and trust who we can't trust people. Watch this. Remember just remind me about some people now. And then I talk back to my sister. Look that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a promise to complete 5 key things in his first 100 days in office.
Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica.
Promises on top of promises. Can you guess how many were kept? Well, that didn't go too well. Let's see what he's promised in the last 100 days.
October 4, 2023. In 2020, Andrew Holness had promised to build 100,000 houses by October 4, 2023. This promise was scaled down to 70,000 units, but up to the end of 2022, a total of only 15,477 housing units had been built.
I'm telling you, build the most house in the history of Jamaica. With the same in HT, the man they set up. Not no go so, You understand? In the holiday, man, I think the talks already, they still ask a question, not for listening, And don't start, not for listen, man. Well, I don't want to cut it, Yes. And Herb might run late, yeah? All right, so see there, 15,000 houses. 15,000 houses. And him saying build more, when man did them build more than in 4 years. Build more than 40,000 houses. He might run competition with the man will come up with something. If you work, you work. I remember that Putin had said for itself, You understand? Him say 100,000 were realistic. Him cut it to 70,000
Exactly.
and say, the money alone. You don't have the people them to buy it. You understand? You're a bankrupt the NHT. Because sometimes him talk without sense, You can't come tell me 100,000, but who have the money for buy it? You have 100,000 family have have the money for buy it. Who are buy house now for borrow money, And them are work on it.
Right, because they've moved away, Wayne. Right. Yeah, but Wayne, you know what? They have moved away from the original mandate of the NHD. It was to provide housing for public service workers, for want of a better term, low-income workers. Then, right?
Yes.
Teachers, public servants, teachers. Because remember, there was a time when a higgler could save the money paying to NHD and go and borrow money from the NHD, not from the bank, from NHD, because they paid into it so they could borrow against that money, and the interest rate was lower than if they had gone to a bank. No, that has changed altogether, and most public servants cannot afford the houses that they're offering them because the interest rates are so high. So they've moved away from the original mandate of the NHD, which is hurting the Jamaican people. But you talk about not trusting. In the nature of thing with the thing or but the opposition supported them, but as they kept on using it more, they can no longer.
Maria,
Yeah,
yes, that can give some problem. You can hear me? You can hear me, sis? You be a lag out and lag
yes,
in
I'm
back.
hearing you. What happened?
Okay, you're hearing me now because you get some, froze up. That freeze up just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So this is who we can trust. Not the opposition, but the very people them around him and himself cannot be trusted. Hear this.
Under his administration since 2016.
On October 6, 2023, 365 NSHP houses were promised, but only 160 homes were completed. On October 18, 2023, Holness promised he would lower the inflation rate, which was at 5.1%, but by November 2023, it was 6.3%, which was not only higher than October, but outside the BOJ's target range of 4.0 to 6.0%. On October 29, 2023, he promised significant investments to facilitate the transformation of the JCF. To date, many rank-and-file police personnel still await overtime payments. On October 30, 2023, Holness advocated for peace in the Middle East and the protection of human rights for all. Yet, Jamaica missed the UN General Assembly vote on humanitarian truce in Gaza on October 27, 2023. On November 2, 2023, Holness promised to make sure that all Jamaicans have access to water, then committed 50,000 water tanks, but said only 3,000 would be distributed.
On November 8, 2023, Andrew Holness promised to respond to the Integrity Commission about his 2022 and 2023 statutory declarations not being certified. As of February 2024, he has not updated the country, nor have they been certified.
On November 19, 2023, Holness promised $330 million for a special housing-related response for home repair. The next day, on November 20, 2023, Holness also promised to commit to address the issues and offer support to the residents affected by flood rains. As of February 2024, many residents are still waiting on said funds. On November 22, 2023, Holness repeated a promise he made in 2021, which was to provide 12,000 titles. On November 24, 2023, Holness promised $1.4 billion to clean up Jamaica. On November 25, 2023, Holness said that the government has shown they can keep the dollar stable. When he took office, the dollar was 121.22 to 1, and today the dollar is 156.80 to 1. On November 26, 2023, Holness promised to end energy poverty, lower light bills, and reliance on makeshift lighting solutions. On November 28, 2023, Holness repeated his promise to shift 50% of Jamaica's electricity to renewable energy, knowing that as he made the promise, the government had not sent off even one request for proposal in regards to this under the 8 years of his leadership. On January 8, 2024, Holness promised at minimum 500 new houses under the NSHP. On January 10, 2024, Holness promised to reimagine and reshape the way we utilize our markets island-wide. On January 17, 2024, Holness promised a Type 5 health center for Portmore, which is currently without a hospital. On January 24, 2024, Holness promised the 40 billion Spark program, which is supposed to revitalize secondary, parochial, and community roads across the island. On February 11, 2024, Holness promised to turn Clarkstown in Trelawney into a city. On February 12, 2024, Holness promised 1.52.0, indicating that he will increase the tax threshold. From 2016 until now, one thing remains constant: empty promises. Let's hear from Holness himself as to why he made these promises.
So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half-truths and trick you into voting for them. And then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
So because, yeah, right. So, Clark, as I say, you must trust the leader of the opposition.
Right.
But me not see him have no money problem. Me not hear free man dot you up in a not at all. No nepotism, no cronyism. And him I say not trust him. But what if you do trust Clark, Nigel, from the SSL, so all before the SSL saga, and just the Prime Minister, yeah, him, the chief architect for lies, you know. And
Yeah,
cancel and propaganda, you know.
the first thing, the first negative against Andrew Holness is his inability to verify his statutory declarations. Going on 3 years now. Now, in a normal, healthy working democracy, 1 year would have been enough to disqualify him because his own colleagues would have held him to account and said, no, you cannot verify your statutory declarations and you cannot be serving as the leader of our party. But that doesn't work in Jamaica. It doesn't work in Jamaica Labour Party. No, it went to 2 years. Still no accountability. Now it's going to 3 years. Let's see what's going to happen with his third declaration. If he didn't verify the first two, how can he have the third one verified? Because he needs to have those two verified in order for him to be trusted. And he's saying he did not verify those 2 years, 2022, 2023, 2021, 2022. Yes, because the next one is due with 2023, because it's 2024. Right. No, those weren't verified. And he's saying, and he is saying,
Here's the magazine.
greetings.
Are you
Wayne,
attacking my illustrious Prime Minister?
Wayne, correction. Wayne, maybe you did not know, but I have to tell you that Herb is now our white brother. Okay?
Yes.
He's no longer black. He's white. So,
All right.
Herb has to claim his white heritage.
I had to tell this guy, I said, look, you're confusing my kids. You come on this program and you're telling me we are white, and now my kids are going crazy behind me. That you've been lying to us for all these tens of years. What the hell's going on?
You know, I couldn't wait to say that to you, Sir Herb.
Wayne, you need this guy on the program, man.
No.
And
Sir Herb,
phone calls. You'll get some.
you'd see fire coming out of Wayne's ears.
Yeah. It's funny as hell, man. I mean, this guy, I'm saying, first of all, it took me an hour to get into Ratty's program because there's something wasn't right with my system.
Yes.
And then I said to myself, I'm listening to this guy and I'm going nuts. I said, this guy coming on for the second week in a row telling us that we're white. And then when I'm looking up all these definitions, I'm going back, I'm looking at his citations, and then he bring Barack Obama into it and everybody else. And then when I tell him,
so all come from black people. You never know that. All colors come from black people.
He was referring to the Dred Scott decision in the U.S. that was certifying slavery. But when they passed the amendments to the Constitution, all of that went away. And myself and Ratty were trying to tell him this. The man wouldn't listen. He just kept insisting that we're white. I said, God damn.
But not only that, but Wayne, you'd be very proud of your brother. Ratty pull away yesterday, and cut him off.
Okay.
Ratty just pull away and just end the story.
I'm here for 4 hours. Ratty said, no.
No.
You
cut it
calling
off.
us liars. You lying yourself. You're doing all of these things. And man,
you have to pull these. You can't tolerate these kind of people in my ears, because as me hear, let me tell you what I put up for them. Right now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do less talking. But anytime you see, like, you know, when I see them on here too, let me show you what I have for them. You must know some plan for them too. You know, look here. Look on this. And if him flip up, me just give him one day, but me give him one or two.
Oh, mercy, no.
You see it? So me have no time for them, you know. For me put up that, me talk to him, me just put up that and that's it. Me done with it.
Yes.
Go outside, me I send him. Go outside.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
that was a good sidebar. Though. But let me go back to what I was saying about the Prime Minister. That he hasn't done these things, and he's asking the Jamaican people to trust him when he is proven 2 years in a row to be untrustworthy. Because if he could verify his statutory declarations based on his income and investments or whatever he did and how it matches up to what he has, then we would not be having this conversation. But he's yet to do it, going on 3 years, and he's asking the people to vote him into office, to basically keep a corrupt person in office, somebody whose integrity is shot, keep him in office. And on top of that, you have 6 other persons who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. Then the other day, last week, the 24th, Haggintai was to make an appearance before the Integrity Commission, and then another member of Parliament from Manchester was to make an appearance before the Integrity Commission. So I'm saying now, and we all have to ask this question: is the Prime Minister now saying, "Don't look over here, don't," as the Ratigan would say, "Don't believe your lying eyes, but listen to me"? And these people, with their checkered past, with their integrity shot, don't worry, just vote for them. They will serve your. When the fact of the matter is, when you look at when they say, "Oh, we spend the most money on this," you don't see it translating on the ground. Don't you think their behavior is suspect, and that people should not trust them in any way, shape, or form? How can these people be trusted? And the question must be asked of the Prime Minister: are you saying that we must just blindly vote for people? The Jamaicans must just blindly vote for those people and forget his statutory declarations not being verified and the illicit 6? Is that what he's asking of Jamaican people? And then saying that he is trustworthy? How can Nigel Clark say not to trust the opposition leader when his statutory declarations have been certified? He has never been Prime Minister. He's never been Prime Minister. So how can you say, how can you say that he mustn't be trusted when he has never robbed the public purse? Remember now, we have to, when talking about Andrew Holness, we have to go all the way back to when he was Minister of Education.
Thank you.
And all the shenanigans that went on there and went unchecked and went unaccounted for. He was never held accountable for anything that happened then. And you bring it forward now into 2024. So all these years of things happening, there was no accountability. And because there was no accountability the first time, it just kept happening and happening till $1.6 trillion gone down the drain, people paying millions of dollars for empty buildings, and nobody seems to give a damn.
Right.
And the people are still suffering. But yes, people must vote for these people.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't hear you, but I'll play what Nigel say about the opposition. I'm going to ask if him can get trusted from the SSL when he say everybody come in, but I know we not see nobody. Him lied to a face, Nigel. Him lied to the Prime Minister, the lightest thing we ever walk the face of the earth. Nigel, the second, close, followed by Big Mama and the rest. Because them dangerous too, Big Mama them dangerous, right? Very dangerous.
Prime Minister have them all in training, man.
Him training, but through him lead it. Him are the king of flies, Look on this.
Sometimes, and some
hear this.
Cannot be trusted. This, Madam Speaker, is a problem. It's a problem for Jamaica. And you know why it's a problem for Jamaica? Because government and opposition have to work together.
Hear this.
Sometimes.
This, by the way, I'm stopping the herb. And Maria, this are the same one where show me the opposition leader said the other day. So when him write the Prime Minister, him don't even answer him. Him don't even answer him back. Them very disrespectful on this guy. But I look at pipsqueak vice here. Fee say him do some joking or some job at the opposition. No time for him go sit down. Can't remember him come tell the PLI to lie tell
Yeah.
From the
Right.
SSL and no.
SSL, the FBI, everybody.
I be a line tell. Some men know who him think I listen to him because trust him. I know them I try to let go them friend. We do over nearly $5 billion Ghana, we don't know the money around. This guy have it on that man. A matter of fact, per herb, upon Fee Watch, the 400 million Ghana, because remember, you know, at the tax office of Jamaica that, you know, we report to Fee. Yep. Remember, I saw him get the money, you know.
Yep.
For fun, everything, you know. And can't, at 3 years, him have him friend them, I give them money. Because, me know, them have to check on them have to check on balances. Him have to see it and know what I want. Him can't say no what I want. Them have to say we spend this, what we do, you understand? And I know him not say nothing. We can't let him go.
The 2 reports that she sent back.
Yes.
Were 2 reports that was on him, his watch. Because it's the tax administration and the FSC. Right?
Yes.
FSC had 50 odd employees that were never in their system. They don't know how they employ these people and gave them jobs because the job description they have don't exist. That's on his watch. He oversees
yes.
FSC, right?
Yes.
The same thing with the tax administration. That's something that he's responsible for as the Minister of Finance. And they have these buildings that are empty. But worse yet, they're being leased by the government from somebody who works in government. So that was a sweetheart arrangement.
Of course. All of
that will get you put in jail up here. Right? You can't be owning buildings. You're the only one bid on them contract to lease out the building to the government. Every time a bid comes up, it goes straight to somebody they know. Right? That's not fair. That is not competitiveness in contracting, which I know the US encourages it. So they've been ripping off people. And somebody's getting rich, keeping buildings, unoccupied and drawing down government money at the same time. Where them get this stuff from, man? It's unfair to the taxpayer of Jamaica.
Exactly.
They're paying out money for nothing.
Yeah, but Sir Herb, you know, you made a very good point there, because just imagine a person, a small business person who owns a building, not attached to government, not attached to any, friends and company, and they could lease that building to the government. They would have benefited and employed people for their company, right? So that when they do that, they could put money in their pocket. But the government took it over, and a member of parliament has it.
Yeah, that's a sweetheart deal.
That's a sweetheart deal.
It is the kind of deal where you cannot go broke when. Yes. You cannot go broke, but it's fraud. It's fraud against the people of Jamaica.
Yes.
Right. If you know a building is going to go unoccupied, that you don't have nothing to go in there, then you cancel the contract. Government does that every day.
A matter of fact, you have to ready early. Because you can't go give somebody for 3 years $356 million.
Yeah.
You could have buy a place and build your own building. They might come out of government building and I rent them place, them friend place. It's wrong. Malo Mattress, she rent a place, say 4.5 million a month.
Is that for the new
4.5 million, 50 million per year?
That's for the new ministry.
Yeah, and no, it's empty. Just one little space.
One little space.
Yeah.
That's a rip-off, man.
That must a rip-off. Who owned the building? And I remember, and like you see it in the paper, them put it to tender, them a rent a place. Them could have, a matter of fact, the government never ever spend no more money because near to marketplace, them did have a plaza right there, so. Byron Plaza, wait me. One of them plaza, them buy it, renovate it, turn it to Ministry of Justice or something.
Yeah.
Shit it up there. Them could have used somebody space over there because it was a big plaza them at the time.
Constant Spring Road there?
Yes, Constant Spring Road, that big
Yeah,
Minister of
Justice,
Justice.
the Justice Ministry.
Yes. See? So she could have over there too, because it's huge. Right? But instead of you go rent something for these kind of money and say, we have to hold on this. And then rent it just appear the money like that. And then they talk to Jamaica. I mean, it can do so much for school. The money they could have spent in the hospital because we have to try to save life.
Yeah.
Proper health care.
Well,
the education system and put back some money in some other things. Yes.
We know the education ministry was short 124 million. That's the money where the Grace McLean took. Right? And then make the clock run out on that. So my question is, what was budgeted for that money before, and how did they make that up? And of course, the biggest one of all is, of course, your friend dancing on the beach. His project gone from 2.5 billion to 10 times as much.
Yes.
Right? So the question is, they escalate costs like you've never seen before. And none of the building trades that I'm aware of, especially in the Caribbean, how do they account, how they not audit these places that supplying the lumber, not lumber, but the
material,
all these other building materials that they need, right? How do they not audit them? But it keeps going on and on and on, and they're bilking the Jamaican taxpayer more and more and more money.
Yes. But you remember when him did move some bed, carry it to in a Falmouth?
Yeah.
Yes. 50 million for move around 25 bed in a truck.
25. What size is this bed now?
You remember little bed them with the master, like the little lawn chair?
Yeah.
You move around 25, around 50 million. Him said
50 million for move them. Man, the man could have buy brand new beds for less money than
enough
that.
Money could have buy enough bed and all kind of thing. But this is how them work. And them have truck and them have thing water, them pay themselves and them deliver the water. So them are doing some injustice where you can't believe. Me think them that, Andrew talk, the dark day where him use, you are holding by that standard, You understand? Because Richard Azan never spend not even 1 cent out of taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
It just say the parking lot, them are talk about a government parking lot, or the council parking, where government same way. Yeah? Whether local government or central government same way. And then build the 16 for the people them were selling there instead of police run them down. And them turn him in a villain.
Yeah.
So you say them people must have some integrity about them and them. And by the way, when Andrew said this, that time him build the house for Neil already.
Yeah.
When him come out and say this, him have admit, you see, him have fling stone all about and him live in a glass house.
Well, Andrew at the time, Andrew had spent 12 times his salary. I believe that's what it come out to. The salary he was making was 1/12 of the money he was spending. And when the Integrity Commission add up the loans he got, it did not cover everything.
No, because I'm going to loan him get about 2002. They never took out a new loan.
Right. So the question then became, Andrew, where did the money come from? What did you have to give up to get that money? Right? Him can't answer that yet.
Well, don't you trouble Zion. Now that Mr. was saying them have the key for open all door.
Don't you trouble Zion.
Because Zion is not a man, He must have place.
Zion is his place.
Have his place. Him have the key. But the matter like Zion have the key, him have the key for open Zion door. Can call him place up the Zion then. You must say don't you trouble Zion.
Well, look, maybe the Fantastic Five need to take a trip down to Kingston.
Fantastic Five, you need to go down undercover. Them now go see your face, so you can go down there and go see what I'm going for it. And video up down there. Just go for Andrew also, yeah? You have to video it properly. And
I'll go in front of the house and sing "Don't You Trouble Zion." So that
them identify Fantastic Five like our tax. So when Fantastic Five go there, go do the work and We not identify you, so we don't make them look out who you know. Yes.
It's crazy, man.
Yes. So
Yeah,
him just
but
say,
you know, but you see,
yes.
Wayne and Sir Herb, you know, I heard, I think it was Damien Crawford, I heard say that they spend the most money with and get the least results, and it's
Yeah.
true
True.
because everything that they spend nothing. They don't talk about thousands of dollars. You know, this is a multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar government. That's the
Yes,
kind of
yes.
money they spend. But you
Yeah, talk
don't see
about
it
it.
translating on the ground. You don't see it translating on the ground. You don't see the people benefiting from it. But yet you can hear people own trucks. Now, when you take a contract away from a local person who owns trucks and you take it for yourself as a member of parliament or as a councillor, aren't you depriving that person who's an entrepreneur? Because you're now saying, okay, I'm going to take the contract from you. I'm giving the contract to myself, but you can come and work for me. Is that fair to that person who, as an entrepreneur, could create a better life for his family and employ more people and create a better life for them as well and make his community better? But you're saying, no, I'm taking it and give it to me. It's the same thing with Colonel Charles, who took all this land and took it away from the people who had the ecotourism out there and said, no, 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 come and work for me. So you're making the people worse off instead of better off. So all these people, these members of parliament and these councils, there needs to be an inventory, not even an inventory, an auditing of all the ministries that they run, of their constituencies that they took over, of the council districts divisions that they took over, what they had coming in, what they have now, and look at the public coffers. I understand that when money don't go, does not when they say they give the money to a member of parliament, it doesn't go into the member of parliament's hand. We know that. However, that member of parliament can set up all kinds of companies through a friend, through a relative, and that money goes to that person, and then they get kickbacks from it. That is how the system works. So they are still ripping off the taxpayers. So an audit has to be done of these people and their agencies and their ministries and their council divisions to see what it is that they have and how they have acquired what they have. And if they cannot be proven, like you have it in the Prime Minister's case right now, it should be confiscated and what's sold, and put the money back into the public coffers, because people are suffering as a result of them ripping off the taxpayers. When you have members of parliament, ministers of government have contracts with the government where they are bringing in produce, they are the ones benefiting. Whether they're benefiting directly or indirectly, they are the ones benefiting. They are robbing the people who need it the most, and that is why schools can't be fixed. What is the budget for the Ministry of Education that the finance minister read out when he opened the debate? What was the budget for the Ministry of Education?
Him never tell us, you know. Yet him got tell 1.3 trillion. And them go over.
The budget for the Ministry of Education is abysmal.
Yeah, so you must say less taxes, but you still have more taxes that because you move from 1 million, just 1 trillion, 1.8 trillion, right? And you're going to 1.3, you put on 300 billion more. And you say less taxes now. Even if you go borrow that, we still have to pay it back. Taxpayers have to pay the 300 billion. So
exactly,
you're going to put 300 billion more. And you say less taxes.
But the two most crucial ministries, Wayne, health and education, they have not been sufficiently funded by the government. They are not being sufficiently funded by the government. So when
you're dead, but Maria, you know, say when you're dead now, you remember taxi have to do, you know. Maria, you remember some money have to run from the government, go over private place to do a taxi now, you know. And we still have to question that because I see the man run for a JLP ticket. You understand? So if you over there, so Archer, he might do a taxi. Where you gonna use this when the hospital them have face can do it and used to do it right there? That means the government have to pay them over there. So where you send the one thing that you have over there, so if you go do the autopsy over there, pathologists. It don't make any sense. That money a chop again. You never have to pay him for him space for the pathologists come there to come do autopsy. Make the autopsy do in the hospital. Same place where it used to do. You understand?
Exactly, and that is what we're talking about, the level of corruption that is taking place in Jamaica that is just going on unchecked. Nobody seems to care that every corruption robs the people. I see a player a video the other day, Wayne, where this man was talking about corruption and how corruption robs the people and the kind of people who are corrupt. And when you have corrupt politicians, you have poor people basically because they are taken from the very people that they're supposed to be helping. And that is what we are seeing happening in Jamaica right now. And when we talk about Jamaica and the current situation that faces it, we also have to talk about Haiti. And you always say that it's Jamaica knocking on Haiti's back door. And many people don't like to say that. But Haiti did not come to this position, this place, overnight. It's the level of corruption that was allowed to go unchecked for decades and decades and decades that has allowed it to come to to this position right now, and nobody really wants to touch it because it is so hot. Everybody's afraid of dealing with it. So Jamaica is not too far from that kind of situation, given the level of wealth and the wide gap between the rich and the poor in Jamaica. Jamaica is a small country. The wealth gap should not be so wide if the level because it is very easy to level the playing field in Jamaica. Education is a great equalizer because guess what? When you can educate more people, you bring more people into the pool to work and to put more money back into the economy. But when you do not educate them, what you create a society where the people are uneducated. You don't have a, 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 a labor force that you can put, an educated labor force. You don't have a skilled labor force. So what do you have? People going into it is a feeding ground for people who with criminal intent. Because students who are in school right now, young people who are in school right now, they do not see a future for themselves to make an honest living. But they see it in gangs because they see the area leader who is driving the most expensive car and has money and has a lot of women. So they see that as attractive. They do not see education as being attractive because it is not providing for them adequately. So it is forcing a situation. Yes.
Yeah, let me just correct somebody here. LTE and Carol. Your mom say the funeral home where you say it owned by the ministry now. Private funeral home owned by Michael Archer. He may say as the director and thing, not the ministry. We know owned by the ministry, it affects state and everything. Don't want check and everything here. Archer may say at the director, managing director and thing. Yes. So it's not owned by no ministry. Yeah? Not owned by no ministry. Where used to happen is the hospital, them like Spanish Town and what them have mortuary. Them have them place where you go do their autopsy, but them move it. Them say they wanna Kingston Public back in the day now work, so them send me a Spanish Town. Can we go to Spanish Town? So I know say there. It's just a building where you carry like it coming like a bush chap. Cause them have the thing where them go put the table where them go put them pan and then you hear the saw work and you hear them are working and the thing where them are saw and then them call it for identify and then them go in place and start with them thing. Yeah? Go in them. I'm going to bury my brother, you know, so I'm going to go identify him and deal with that sex need. You understand? So I go there. So I say, why they move it? And I like something fancy them have or nothing, you know. Nah. Why they move it? Yeah, man, but it can't be. The ministry don't own it, though. You don't own it. Them that come in at like 2018 and about and then you notice me take a different stand from when them say, you know, my sister DJ own it. No, because me look who own it and the name of me see me go buy that. But me I say you have conflict of interest there because if you have the government, it's a private hospital. And if you want to do a autopsy at your place, that means you have to pay the government, you have to pay him some money. But it can cause kickback, that is conflict of interest. Right, right, Maria? Right. You have the hospital, right? So do it back at the hospital. See? So I just pay chopping that mean hundreds of millions how much money you pay over there. So you get kickbacks. See? That me I talk about. Me not talk about people can just do a video and me run with it, you know. I like the more research. So you notice me take a different view. Like come and see them have a view now, them have put up the richest politician and then put up Paul Burke and put up something. That's a foolish. One somebody because say this and the you take that and play it. Me not do that. That's a foolish. It's a garbage too. See? You have to do your own research. You understand? You have to have links there that way you put out something in a withdraw it, you know, you stand by it, you know. You understand? Let me show you me attack. So them saying a trust. I will still deal with the trust where Ligel Carter say no trust. Nobody not trust him. Because BLM come tell me. So you have trust. Let me trust government minister. See one of them, yeah. I may ask you about this stand for.
You know, Devil Vaz and Philip Palwell, them do some visa, but in 2019, right? And them come out and say him get back a visa. All right, so Mr. say him get back a visa, but you know, they black it out. Them release this, but me realize it was a 1 year thing. 24th.
All right, you cannot tell them what the number they stand for. The waiver number there. 212 bracket A, bracket 2C or something. You can look it up and tell me what it stands for, please. If they get this 2001 and it expired 2002. Now you have government minister but can't travel. At them we must trust. But just put up and tell them, you know, that now what it stand for, please, and thanks. See it, Maria? You see the waiver number? You can see it good?
Yeah, it
expire. But we're going to show the waiver number and just put up the waiver and look. Because them are saying not trust Mark Walling. So me look for the waiver number. Why you don't have a waiver number? Them have to waive something before you get a 1 year thing. Why? So what that stand for her?
Yes, because that's where it expired 2021. No, it got it in 2021, expired in 2022. Right.
Yes. Can they get a 1 year?
Yeah.
But where this where the number they stand for? Because I'm talking about trust, and we want to see minister and trust them and not to trust them. So I want to know what that stand for. I know I know, but I want to know. Because you can look it up on yourself too. Yes. Zane?
Right. It has something to do with, well, let's have the expert talk about it. What is it? You see, and that is what your thing, Herb. You're muted.
You're mute.
A3
okay.
And then A, and then you have another one, A and then 2C, and then something else I can't make out.
Let me do it for you.
September 2021.
I'll draw it up and make you see.
Okay, all right, I got it.
All right, you got it. See that?
A3, security and related grounds.
Yes.
This is for the first one, the A3, and then okay, let me see what the A is.
Yeah, and look at the 212. Hey, look at the 212, eh? 212.
Yeah, A3.
Look if anything named traffic or anything in it, you know?
Yeah. And then the other one was A and then 2C, right?
Yeah, 2C. You can say 212 and then bracket A, bracket 2C, bracket 1.
212 bracket 2C.
Yeah, 212 bracket A. Then bracket 2C, bracket 1.
212 bracket
212 will come up to you right away.
2C, yeah. 2C. Okay. 2C, and then you have, oh, no, you have A, 2C, and then 1.
Yeah. So if you put the 212 front, I tell you, drugs, it mark drugs trafficking or something, don't it?
2C, and then 1. Let me see where it come out at.
Mm.
A.
You get it?
We looked this up before.
Yes. So this is something about some drugs trafficking and something, don't?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
Designated for trafficking.
Trafficking, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trafficking.
So
Drug.
when I'm an Senate trust, if me say have ministers, and then tell me something now. So me still have who this is a minister this. When I tell Kaka come talk about the trust now, Mark Goldie. Eh? Who him tell me talk? Me don't know who me talk. Me don't know who me talk to. Can I go search them party? Eh? Me never see this in the history of Jamaica before, you know. Yeah, so much people and the Prime Minister they on film watch because you could have picked a lot more people because you have enough people can pick from.
Back it again.
Not you,
C.
Yep.
And then
look on this.
That like a one or something, right? So granted. So we want to know what this means.
So we know what it means. All right. So we know what that means. Okay. So I can move him there, so and I could come to that one and all.
Now you know what?
This is a WikiLeaks. Yeah.
That one
but we concern and this is 2004 cable rats. I just the other day I said, not 2000. In 2004, Robinson was named along with the fellow JLP members, Shiny Robinson and Udis, Arias Chang, has been involved with money laundering and organized crime.
Okay.
By local sources, according to DES sources. He was involved with see them call the name Namad.
George Kingpin.
George Kingpin awaiting deportation to US. The source alleged that Robertson's father, Esmel Robertson, was forced to hand over piece of land to settle his son drug debt. Okay. All right, okay. So them and me more concerned about more than anything. Let's hear? Yeah, crowd? All right, because I see how they name your son.
So can you imagine now? They must not trust now. They must not trust. Not trust I'm a goal in and work with and him cannot be trusted. Brother, let me tell you something. You can't tell people because you cannot be trusted by that.
Yeah.
You come tell people who say FBI they are not stone and turn, you know, lift up one stone and now. Be a liar and shield they do. You fling our police under the bus. When the police come talk, McCracken.
Yeah.
Fling him under the bus. And I tell people about not trusted me. I tell you, I bet you know about that talk, brother. Because I play where you say I'm going to dissect it and I'm rubbish you. See? And you have more. Can you see much people name mentioned like this already? What them there? Are some member of parliament for the JLP. Eh? Some member of parliament are minister. Eh? Which country you find in a world where you have a deputy prime minister, but him can't not see him in Canada, US, UK, and nowhere in Europe or Austria. Him not talk to him counterparts. Which part and plus him are the national security minister. But when the prime minister go out for the 30 man them the other day, him have to carry a so-called fake cop, a fake commissioner, because that wasn't a police. That's not police. Google got police. Now them watch. That's not police. That's just poser. That's how you have the other one, you know, poser too. See? You have to carry him. Or somebody who are not part of the government. He means that a government minister come and lead you. Which part ever say that? You carry somebody and claim to them a police and them a lead the delegation for talk to government people. You ever see that yet, Treb?
No.
A prime minister. Very embarrassing. I mean, look at a deputy prime minister / national security minister can't travel. But you ever see that? No, him alone can't travel. This is the next minister. I just show you, know, Minister of Transportation and some other things that I just show you. They have waiver, get a waiver, you know. And enough more of them, you know. So through that, now them, they have some other people that travel with other people.
Yeah.
Them some other people.
You want to hear something?
Yes.
I'm trying to look at how they got around this for Voss. And I'm sure the same thing would have been true for Crab. Right? Inadmissible grounds that may not be waived. And this is what I'm looking at. I'm saying, wait a second. How did they give him a stamp saying he's good? Because
And that's 1 year. Them that's we have it for 1 year though, not yeah. 1 year.
Yeah, but for just 1 year.
Yeah.
Because 212A2C says it will not be waived. So he got lucky.
Because remember the when name? When name? The farmer.
U.S. ambassador.
Yes. So he was something there. So you know, sometimes them act as undercover too, you know. So if you come and talk to you pick up this, you know, say him check for me. But them put you in a trap because you know you're spider if you know so them will be up same way. Always you're spider if you know say you feel nice, but them are put in a trap. They make you feel comfortable. Because remember the ambassador, one thing we can say, no, the ambassador no like him can't go break things because them are watching. And if him break things, he might go to prison. So him more I can be half him country, you know. He may go on like him break rank and come talk. But them say, well, me shouldn't even say it. Can make them go under them trap. Yeah? But me know, you know, when you see these things, you know, say, okay, this is something I go on. Yeah? So all larger say not trust the opposition when them have so much, and you know, so much people don't know morals around them in the cabinet, in the government. All that work. You must come out.
But Wayne, that's you know, I'm thinking about what you're saying, you know. And recently, I think it was in Suriname, I think it was Suriname, where some government minister was arrested. He's under investigation. In Dominica, you know, Dominican Republic, the head of law enforcement there, and in Peru, the prime minister, I think she's either prime minister or president. She is under investigation. You know, president, right? Yeah. You know what she's under investigation for? Jewelry, right? It's nothing like Andrew Holness and Darrell Vaz and Dr. Crab. Nothing like that. So imagine if that same, you know, Andrew likes to talk about Jamaica being modeled after the Westminster style of governance, of, you know, parliamentary um, government. But if they really took it to heart, and it, you know, it was really, I'm not saying it wasn't, but it was took to heart, like how it is done in England. Andrew Holness would not be sitting there right now because the members of parliament would have spoken out against him a long time ago.
Yes, true. That's true. Yeah, man, that's true, man. That's true. So, as me say now, when them say not trust, they trust, you know, what they matter about and not trust the opposition. That's stupid. Them shouldn't even come out and say it. Like people trust him.
Yeah. First of all, people gotta get past him, and then get past the everybody underneath him. FSC, right? And all the other shenanigans that's been going on. People have to be able to look past that. Then look at the prime minister. Then look past his shenanigans with his declarations. Look past his wife. Her shenanigans with the building of these buildings. Right? I mean, by the time you're done looking, you could be broke. Because them people is like them have them hands in your pocket. You know, I still want to know how you start off with a $23 million building and end up with the building valued over 800 million.
Well, I know that from my wife. So when am I saying not trust? All these things are trust deficit.
These are issues of trust.
Of course. So when I tell you out, him just give him more talking, I have to dissect him and hold him to account. That him will not trust him none at all. He cannot be trusted.
You know why they can't say that way? But think about it. The Jamaican people, you know, think about it. Most of the Jamaican people right now, many of them have children to send to school no school tomorrow, but have children to send to school after the Easter break. They don't even know how they're going to do so because some of them don't have nowhere how they're going to pay school fees. Some of them are not going to feed the children tomorrow. This is Easter. How many of them were able to give their children as much as a slice of bun? Not even cheese, just a slice of bun. Think about those things. So they don't really understand or have time to look at the issues and tear them apart and dissect them the way we can do it for them. And that is why we have to do it on their behalf to make them a more informed voter. So when Nigel comes and says, do not trust the opposition, he fails to acknowledge that the prime minister is untrustworthy. You have ministers in his parliament that his colleagues are untrustworthy. There are members of his cabinet who are untrustworthy, members of parliament. And I'm not going to talk about the PNP because it's one government at a time. So there are members, there are councillors in the JLP that are untrustworthy. So he has to look within his circle at the amount of untrustworthy people whose names are in WikiLeaks, as you just showed. Minister who can't even get who has to get a waiver. Prime Minister who cannot verify his statutory declarations, and you are talking about don't trust somebody. So the Jamaican people really don't know these things because they are so busy trying to make life for themselves and their families. So they don't really have time to, dissect these things and say and ask of their member of parliament, why is your name in WikiLeaks, mister? Why was your name there? And since your name is there, how can you be Minister of National Security? Because you are seeing information that is vital to the security of the country. And another thing, Andrew Holness at one time had a national security advisor. Does he still have one? Because that was Sir
No,
Goog's job,
that was the
And then
first one.
he elevated first and last because he doesn't have
Yes.
one now. So why did he create that position to begin with?
For
Why
those
did he create
Google
to
got
begin with?
job. For give Google
You see?
got job. For pay Google got bag of money.
Right. So you see that they are talking to people knowing full well that they are not the people that they are talking to not really fully understanding what is happening and they're only concerned about their bread and butter issues. How can I send my child to school? How can I put food on the table? How can I pay a bill? How can I keep a light on? Those who have light, or if they need kerosene oil for lamp, how can they buy it for their lamps? So they are concerned about the very basic issues, that issues of this about trust is not really registering with them for them to say, but hold on, Dara, as your member of parliament, why X, Y, and Z? Why do you have a waiver? You have a visa waiver. Those are the things. Member of Parliament Horace Chan. Okay, why was your name in WikiLeaks? All those things. Which town hall are they going to go to? The Prime Minister is going to go. He was on a lot of town halls leading up to the local government election. And I didn't see anyone say to him, Prime Minister, what about your statutory declarations? They are yet to be verified. One time I saw a reporter ask him about it, and he said, he was sent another letter about time and he's going to get to it and all that sort of thing. 2 years running,
Excuses,
2 full years not verified.
Amount of time now and excuses. Right?
Exactly. So it's going into the 3rd year, And I'm saying, where would this be acceptable? Where? And they have made it the norm and the tradition and actual norms and tradition that work for the people, Sir Herb. They throw out the door, and they have normalized corruption and made corruption a tradition.
One of the
So that
things
if you're not corrupt, you're not saying anything.
I realized something.
Yes, sir.
We always say that Crab must have a warrant out for him. But think about this. If under the regulations, when you mess with drugs, you're not eligible for a waiver, means Crab hasn't been eligible for any waiver since 1980s when his name appeared in WikiLeaks, in that embassy cable. So it must have the same annotation that VARs have.
Yeah, but you see, like, we don't know if them give him a 1 day or 2 day, but we see him not traveling on at all. He might go down in a St. Louis and nowhere else.
I'm saying his thing is long term from back then.
Yes.
So that would explain why that other guy that they went after before Dudus, that the DA and the Justice Department wanted him to come up and go on trial in New York. That explains why they could never get him, because him come straight out of Crab's district, right? Him is the same one disappeared the other day when them raid the house, the stash house, right? So this guy has been on the run now from the 1980s till now. And this is the guy that say if him talk, him can put everybody, every last one of them in jail. So they can't afford to have him get captured.
So you see this too. I don't know, me I say when Nigel come talk, me I say, oh, if you have a government, chop a government in a private government, and you have some people with some, some spooky characters. Spooky, very spooky. You know?
Somebody asked if Chan can go to the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica. Yeah, he probably can visit the embassy, because if him have a visa that rejects him, then they don't have to change anything. He might have to go prove, say, he was a changed man since 1980 till now, which I mean is possible, right?
But we are say you can't have a. What me I say, you for your swearing as a prime minister, a deputy prime minister, you get deputy prime minister pay, the national security minister pay, the bigger pay you get, which is deputy prime minister. All the hell you stuck and you can. All right, come, well, make we invite him, Herb. We invite the march, Minister Crab. Deputy Prime Minister, we invite the march in May, the 10th of May. Take a thing and fly, come up. Yeah, just him can't pass the airport. No permit, no permission for that bad.
They're not going to let him in.
Yeah? And you're Deputy Prime Minister, that alone indictment from the country. And it's true. That for sure says a corrupted country, a corrupted government. It's a chopper government. Or if you have a deputy prime minister, when you look him there in a WikiLeaks, when you look, I put money laundering and pushing and all kind of things the name come up on. Eh?
So we're thinking that it's only the WikiLeaks cable.
No, but remember America have more than that, Remember I just started with the young man take out,
That's the
and him go and prison for it, Because him let out some things. What name again? Him change him Chelsea now, him name. Manning.
Yeah, Chelsea Manning, yeah.
Him name Chelsea now, okay.
Yeah, release a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go to prison for that,
Yeah, man.
And Vassage, what name Assange? They must see what him now. Because I remember him there in the UK living at the one of them country, South American country or Central American country, embassy for a couple of years.
Ecuador.
Him couldn't go touch him because but when him start plaster the people them wall and make some demand, the people must say, yo, no sir, I move this, you can't come touch him.
Yeah.
So them have him and them out for a dip him go to US because them want it. Can push out, remember, another stuff alone them release, Them release other cable where it show say when the drugs are run going to Jamaica, when Cuba talk to America, Chang the crab push it away. And they make complaint to US about it. Read it. Them complaint to US about it. Says a court port. Yeah. Jamaica. It's a court port.
But you see, but you know, you see why Jamaican politicians cannot be taken too serious. Because it's not to say that corruption just happened yesterday or since this administration took over. Not at all. It is the worst it has ever been. Worse. And seems to be getting worse, or according to Ms. Wu, worse. Because when you look at the Auditor General's report, which the Speaker did not want to table, like it was some personal document for her eyes only. And you look at buildings being empty buildings, $400 million. Just think about that, $400 million. And there's no investigation as to why. Are you going to hear, the procurement process that's how it's supposed to be. I have never heard of anybody renting a space and paying rent for a space that they're not occupying. Especially government.
Process. Come on now. Can you say you take 2 or 3 months when you spend the money for 3 years.
Yep.
So that means if she never come out, come talk in a year, 10 years. Let me tell you about yes, something I'm gonna tell you how them run it. You see, when we see Queenie come out and I say, you know, like the member of parliament now spend money like this crap. What them do, them give out a lot of contract, them send you for the money, they make blank check. So in the time, them say you're clean a goalie and what have you, and you're one of them bad, them right hand. And you want a car, them want buy a car, get them just put you say you do something in the community, you know. And then you get the check, them get the money. And sometimes they make you get more and then you give them back a piece of food, them a criminal. Don't make them tell them nothing, that's an easy move. So they make a man come tell about, no, MP no do this, a foolishness, consolidated funds. Listen, a criminal them. We know said move. So you have sometimes some people go to them and say them, you know, them go to school and them need this and that. Them go write it up and write out 10. And just one person go to them, you know. Yeah? Them write up, so them do this to the community, no do. Then give some man buy a gun and buy a shot and all kind of things. Like, we know them movements. So when them come out and I say, we don't do this, listen me, that is bull crap. Straight up. Bull crap. Yeah? I will go back to it again. Nigel, who I met this one and the Prime Minister, remember him at the lightest thing. And that no change. Yeah? What we done with Nigel tonight, you know, eyes on the file, me see, you know. What we done with Nigel tonight, we're going to send him, eyes on the file. We're going to send him here, so. Yes. But we're not done with him yet. We still are dealing with him case. Yeah? We still are dealing with him case, so we're not sending him out there yet. When we finish with him case, we don't have to send nothing, we just put it up. We're not ready yet. And we know say McClone and Nancy. I trick him that see him with the red card there, man. See him with the red card there. And the joke of this, man. You're gonna make it bad, brother. Stop trying to look at funny tricks, them, man. It not work, man. It's a joke about it not working. See? McClone and Nancy, you know. Yes. Brian Nancy more smarter than that. He's not smart than at all. Brian Nancy, Yamaha people granny in the Fort Law business there. Trick them and make them buy Highland Dusty and say I get them better, my doctor. And yam them granny. You know that little thing there. You know them way there? So Trim say brother Nancy get through in the Fort Law business there and Maria. He might try a little thing, but we might don't know. He might tag the opposition in everything we might talk. Don't trust him because we and him should have worked together doing what? Eh?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with working together, you know, because a healthy democracy requires that both parties or home parties, whatever it is, come together across the aisle in the interest of the people. You know, like in the U.S. where the Congress has to work together to pass bills so that money, you know.
Yes.
So it is healthy. It's a healthy, but in Jamaica it's totally different.
So I could tell him the next thing. When you have an opposition and for only accountable to, you know, none of them have the person thing. You can't just stay there and step on the people them and you have an opposition and agree with you and say yes.
But you see, but you know something, Wayne, the thing is it's one thing to work with a person.
Yeah.
But if they are not being held accountable, then it makes no sense. Because somebody has to, when you look at what is happening, the integrity reports from the Integrity Commission and all that, you know, people should be willing to speak up, whether or not you are from the same party or in the same government, and say, listen, man, this cannot be allowed to happen, because when this is being allowed to happen, people down on the road, people out there we're representing as a member of parliament are suffering. They are suffering as a result. So when you can hear about, look at Beryllium Regional Hospital. Look how much money has gone down the drain. They said it's going to cost $21 billion. And that is what they say. And it will finish in 2027. I'm quite sure by the end of the year that goalpost is going to be moved. And when that goalpost is moved, who is going to do an investigation, which the DPP can do? Who is going to do the investigation to find out where has the money gone, why it is not yet finished?
Maria, finish this now, and then Herb can take it up. You ever seen an audit come out from Beryllium Regional Hospital?
No.
Why?
And I'm wondering why not. Because I would think that if anything should be audited, it's the Beryllium Regional to see how can you have moved from a couple $1 million to billions, and you're still not completed, and you keep moving, you know, the completion date keeps being extended, and the money is just increasing by billions more, and nobody's asking the question of how, why, when, where. So it's just an open-ended thing that is going on, and nobody seems to care while the people are suffering.
Hey, this a government, and caring doing it. Can you imagine you just take 400 million taxpayers' money and them friend done. Them friend, them same, I can tell you done. Them same one because them want the building up there, and I sent me. One of them.
Yeah.
Which
They
way
said it was owned by MP Dunn in St. Mary.
Yeah,
Yes.
some of the two of them. Okay. So them won the building, one of them won the building. Right there, so. And I collect 700,000 every month for nothing at all. Right? Nothing. Right? And the other one no, and them lock. Which part the other one then them close it and say go over there, say, them have it, and then close it. And yesterday go rent this when I work none at all. And just I put money in their pocket. And then I put money in their mother for who won the building by the way. And then you have Malawi mattress. She rent up the building for 4.5 million a month. And look how long she rent that too. Nobody know it.
Right. So who owns these buildings? And the thing is that that particular ministry, constitution or whatever it is, she's constitutional affairs.
Yes.
That ministry is 30% occupied. So they don't have a full complement of staff. So what are they paying $4.5 million for? And the question is, who owns these buildings? Why is it the government don't own their buildings outright? Because I think it would cost the government less if they own their buildings outright. Because you can have more than one ministry and one building complex. You can have a massive complex where you have multiple ministries.
And they won't be paying no property tax. Yeah.
And it won't be exactly. So who owns these properties that are getting these millions of dollars for rent? And how can they come up with a better system of owning their buildings to eliminate some of these other costs so that more money can go towards projects that benefit the people, like hospitals, schools, roads, police station, fire station, all of that, pay teachers, pay policemen. How can that work? Because it cannot be business as usual, seeing that all we can hear of is more and more money being lost to corruption, more and more money being lost to misappropriation of funds or through rent being paid on empty spaces.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad, man. Yes, sir.
Did you note that the two reports that were sent back to the Auditor General concerned fully the Ministry of Finance?
Finance, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
And
the same minister who said don't trust anybody.
All right.
So can we trust him?
That's why I asked if we trust him. I'm not just to get.
But Sir Herb, you brought that a point up. Remember now when the SSL saga started?
Yeah.
And he was asked, he said he knows nothing about it. He was told that a report was sent to him, and he said he knows nothing about it. And then later on, he came and said, "Oh, it was found on some papers or whatever."
Yeah, he tried to decide.
That was a lie.
Exactly.
It's not a lie. It's the same dangerous. Dangerous.
You see. So, what kind of a minister? Yeah, go ahead, Sir Herb.
Yeah, he denied it until he was backed into a corner. Then he kept saying to reassure people that the FBI was there. And the FBI was never involved with the case. And when the police officer, the senior guy, the assistant commissioner, come out and said, look, if we need the FBI, we call them. But right now, we're running this thing. And so it just shows that he'd been lying all that time. And the man have no shame. He never came out, apologized or said anything about it. He just ignored it like it never happened. Yeah.
That's him.
That's arrogance. That's the arrogance of this government. That's the arrogance that they display with people's money, don't they? right? And their arrogance is frightening. They don't. It's like they don't care. They feel like they're invincible. You can't get to them. But things will change.
But this is a government, Sir Herb. Remember, Andrew Holness said that the government wasn't working because they weren't being paid properly. No,
Right.
they're being paid handsomely, and the quality of their work has gotten worse.
Worse. Yeah.
So why? What are they getting paid millions of dollars for? Because they're being paid handsomely, but they seem to be siphoning off more of taxpayers' money.
I'm waiting to see when the report card gets published on all these ministers in the cabinet. I want to see how they are scored, because the people need to know who does the prime minister think is doing a good job, and who does he think is doing a bad job, and why they still got their ministry, why they're not been fired. That's what I'd like to know. This
But
thing is
Sir Herb, very good question you asked. But another question is, what happened to the local media, PSOJ, civic society, and the churches? Where are they? Where are they to make their voices heard in concert, to come out against the government and to hold them accountable and say this cannot happen? Because what forced the speaker to really table the report on Tuesday? Public pressure.
public pressure. Yeah. But
So just
you
imagine
remember
if that was happening.
do you remember what Rattigan and ISAT exposed yesterday? The fact that she sent the report back and said
Yes.
that it needed to go to the Ministry of Finance first, so minister could review it. But the report was submitted under a special title. You remember what
Yes.
that title was?
I remember the title. I think it was a 30, which had to do with reports done by the Auditor General herself or himself. That
No.
report is sent straight to the parliament via the speaker. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it wasn't 30 though.
Was
30 is
29
what she used to send it back, saying
to the
that
minister.
it should have
Right.
gone to the minister. But the
Mm-hmm.
title of the report says it's a special report
Right, right. But
because it was generated by two people.
right, yes, 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 yes.
Two people that was
Mm-hmm.
complete. So it was a special report. And that special report on the 29
29, correct, yes.
directly to the
Goes
speaker.
to the speaker. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And this
Yeah,
is
because no, go ahead, Sir Herb.
got the woman upset at
Mm-hmm.
the Auditor General's office. She said, "Look, I'm sending this thing right back because
Yes.
And then Juliet berate the clerk of the
This,
house.
the clerk of the house, yeah, which has been there for decades.
I said she owed the woman an apology. She should
But
write a letter of apology the same way she write this letter berating her
shaming the lady, yeah, yeah.
and apologize. The woman's supposed to retire, I think, this week coming up. And she
Wow.
gonna treat her in that manner. No, it's unforgivable.
It is
Yeah.
unforgivable. But she did it to Sister Herb to hide her own incompetence and her own lack of respect for the traditions and norms that she went into the office and saw. And Dalrymple too is to blame because Dalrymple was did the same thing, right? But to not know why the report was sent to her directly and for her to say, but stick up in there, Sir Herb. When was the report sent back to the Auditor General?
It was sent back the day that the Mark
Friday.
made his speech. Yeah, the Friday.
It was sent back, yeah, because Mark made his speech last Tuesday. Yes. And it was sent back the 22nd, which was last Friday. Not this Friday gone, the Friday, the 22nd. So why would she send it back then? Okay, because she had it 54 days. It was sent. One was sent in December 28th, I think, and one January 29th, right? So
Yeah.
what took her so long to send it back? If the clerk made a mistake and had it not, why took her so long to send it back?
No,
And
listen.
if
Here,
yeah, go
stick
ahead.
up right there. She completely misread the regulation. Because the regulation says the minister that it's sent
Mm-hmm.
to, this is if the report is a joint production of the House and the Auditor General's office. It says the
Mm-hmm.
minister has up to 60 days to review,
Right.
right? So she read it that way that she had 60 days to review. And then she claimed that she told the woman, the clerk of the court, to send it, clerk of
Clerk of
the
the
house,
house. Mm-hmm.
to send it back. And she didn't comply. But the woman didn't comply because the report met the conditions to be sent directly to her.
Exactly. To her. Exactly.
She's the ignorant one, and she's the one that done her damn job.
Mm-hmm.
It's that
Mm-hmm.
simple.
And
Yeah.
trying to and trying to throw the clerk under the bus. This clerk, but Sir Herb, here's
Yeah.
another thing too. This is a lady that has been in that position for a long time. As
Mm,
a matter of fact, she worked in the environs of Gordon House for a very long time. So if anybody knows that space and how things are done, it is
her.
Miss
Yeah.
Curtis, like the
Yeah.
back of her hand. And this has never happened before because everybody keeps saying, but this has never happened before. This is the first time that we're having this issue where reports come to Parliament and you hear that you must go back and this and they're going to disrespect the clerk of the house. It has never happened before. So
Uh-huh.
why is it that prior to Dalrymple and Hone, it worked as it's supposed to under various administrations, JLP and PNP, except for the Andrew Holness administration?
Well,
So
it's
you
a
see
shame.
where corruption is the problem?
Yeah. Big time. And see, look, they could not afford for that release
Hmm.
to come out before the local elections, right?
True. I
So
believe
they,
so.
they had to hold on to it till after local election and then send it back. And when
Hmm.
they sent it back, that lady didn't waste time. She said, no, it's going right back to her because she knew she was right.
Yeah.
And I don't care what ruling the Speaker of the House has made. She cannot overrule the Constitution.
She cannot. None of
Exactly.
them. Nothing but them do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
She's gonna have to act
Really,
now she's tabling the report.
Exactly.
And the
But
report
Sir
shows
Herb,
how bad her husband is at management.
exactly. But Sir Herb,
Yeah.
what is even sadder is that in not tabling the report, because remember she acknowledged receipt of the report back in November,
Right.
November, January, somewhere she acknowledged receipt of the report and said she was going to seek the opinion of the Attorney General on whether the tabling of those reports.
Yeah.
And I remember Julian Robinson coming back to Parliament. For those who say, oh, the PNP don't follow up on what, that's not true. Not only the PNP, but other persons in civil society have asked the question, why are you not tabling these? Have you not tabled these reports? And when she was asked in Parliament about what is the opinion of the Auditor General, she said she's not telling them. She's basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
see,
like,
that's a
yeah.
misunderstanding on her part again of what her role is.
Hmm.
She doesn't, as a speaker, she acts for the parliament. And she doesn't understand that. Right? Nobody teach her to do her job. Nobody school her on that. She believe it's her personal opinion
Opinion,
that
yes.
she's getting back. You know?
Hmm.
Sorry.
And you know what it is? You know what it says too? My opinion, and to hell with everybody else. You don't
Yeah.
like it, I don't care. That's basically what it. So she has basically given the middle finger to the Jamaican people. and to the opposition, and to the civil society, and to everybody that asks the question, and even to her own party and government. She has given the middle finger to the Constitution. She has given the middle finger to everybody because she said, I am going to do what I want to do, whether you like it or not. And that is why her being the speaker and her husband, the prime minister, creates a problem.
Yeah.
You know, next thing what the government do, where it's not good for the country not all, them spend 18 million without telling us. Change the microphone, change the system, change the board, that the speaker control your mic. First time you have to press it yourself and you could have talked so we could have hear you the arms out when they go away. Right? Them just change it because they don't want certain things to come out. So if you attack, you can't hear when them lock off your mic, you know. That them do, you know. That them can muzzle you.
Yeah.
And that them do. Them change the tone, but them can muzzle people. We don't
But
even
you
tell
look at the
the
current.
nation. Yes.
Yeah, but you look at the current state of affairs, you know, Wayne and Sir Herb, and you have to ask the question: is democracy dying in Jamaica? Because if somebody, no matter how crass the language is, speaks in a way that is disrespectful to the prime minister, they go and find him underneath his bed.
Yeah.
The police, who cannot find criminals, can find somebody who said something crass about the prime minister. And I've heard language used at P.J. Patterson, Portia Simpson. They have been called every name in the book except a child of God. And I don't recall any police going to look for the person under them dead in any bush anywhere to come and apologize to the prime minister. So when you see these things happening, you have, and other things, people are afraid to talk. It's not that they wouldn't speak out, you know, but they're afraid of retaliation from the government. And you have to ask the question, is democracy that we have taken for granted in Jamaica and people took for granted for so long in Jamaica, is it dying? Is it a fair question to ask?
It's something else because this lady who tries to act with authority, she ends up violating so many rules of the house.
Yeah.
And at some point, they're going to have to give her a vote of no confidence. And then when you look around, who takes up for her every time when she makes mistakes? The Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck.
Finance Minister.
The Finance Minister and Dr. Crab. Right? Three people who should know better.
Yeah.
Who should know to read a regulation and apply it to the situation. But they don't. They don't read and they don't apply anything. Right? And they make her feel like she's right.
Yeah.
You know, and she don't have to explain anything. She have to explain herself. You know, I mean, it's embarrassing to know that you're wrong now. And that, you know, constitutionally, you're wrong. And they can't keep doing the same thing. You know,
Yes,
it's totally embarrassing.
I'm showing our next thing because I see time I run fast. I'm showing our next thing now. Because we're still upon Nigel same way, you know. Let me show you our next thing. You remember the other day them do the bus fare? Decrease the bus fare. And them said April 1st, tomorrow. It's supposed to decrease more. Now here what him say right here, sir.
A completely cashless system for the proposed reduction in bus fares effective April 1st, 2024. In essence, commuters who pay their fares using a smart card come April 1st will benefit from the 50% fare reduction. In addition,
we never hear that from Elijah though. Not like this. Continue. Benefit from fare reduction if you use smart card.
In addition, they will receive an added benefit of 3 free rides, which will apply to both current and new card holders. So we are trying to incentivize them to utilize a cashless system.
That wasn't a deal. A matter of fucking they have nothing set up for the cashless system yet. Listen here.
Which is better for everybody because obviously it means that the flow of the loading of the buses can move much quicker. Again, the current fare collection system uses a limited cashless component. However, this
a limited cashless component it used right now. Yeah, we must know.
system is to be replaced by a comprehensive cashless system which will provide the requisite efficiency and revenue protection to cover the entire service and guard against difficulties posed by cash transactions and delays and pilferage.
That's a garbage again. Because when them keep the election, them no election come up, them tell us it a reduce and them a go on good. No, them go back taxi man, so listen, we can't put on the 16% tomorrow, you know, that tomorrow come. Because that a mash way up. Inflation will go over again a double digit. Why are they gonna please? We can't do it. Right? But them a take them raise up here tomorrow, you know. The 200%, the next part of the money there, you know.
So the taxi man them can't get a raise of pay, but they can.
Yeah.
They now saying the taxi man can't get his raise of pay.
No.
But the government minister will get his.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's all they care about. You see, their priorities are all screwed up. Because what they spend money on, Sir Herb, is not what money should be spent on. Because they're spending money on the digitization of police stations. When they don't, these policemen don't have uniforms, they don't have weapons, they don't have patrol cars, their roofs are leaking, the building is falling apart. So how can they be digitizing a system when the rain falling, when the mash up the same system, but you still spend money to digitize? The question is, who only company that is digitized that is doing the digitization of these police stations? So you put the book there, but the actual help that the people need from the police is not there for them. The police don't have the services that they need. They're going to digitize records at the hospitals. Hospital needs beds. They need pharmaceuticals.
Yep. They don't need no computers because they
don't need any computers.
They can do they've been doing the paper records.
And it works.
Can you imagine? You're there at the hospital and somebody calling him, just look on a computer and look on it like look up on computer now, like we just say herb tea. And when you come, in have nothing else. Me have the medication for you, me have the bed for put you, me have nothing at all. It don't make no sense.
So what's the use of calling your name?
What is the use of calling your name? Exactly.
Calling in. Look for the computer and call the name. That make any sense?
It's a shame.
Read the docket, but me can't do nothing to you. It
Now,
don't make any sense.
Now, what I could not understand, and I said it in your program, that you have alternative stuff that people can buy over the counter, but they don't make it available in Jamaica. A lot of people do research on their computers and see what the alternative medications are.
Yes.
For instance, this guy won a Nobel Peace Prize for discovering the element needed in blood pressure medication. And he says that it can be taken alone and by itself, and it will be more effective.
Yes.
And that's what I've been doing. And it is more effective. But guess what? It's not enough drugs in there to make it a drug. So it's an over-the-counter medication. And they will not sell it. They will not bottle it and sell it to Jamaica.
Don't worry, Sir Herb, a minister of government or a member of parliament is going to create a company and they're going to start bringing it in and selling it too. So the government is going to have to pay them to do it. So don't worry. One of those ministers is going to figure it out and start doing it. Instead of allowing a private person to bring it in or let them order it offline or online and have it shipped to their homes. A minister of government is going to do that because that's what they do.
That's what they do. Strange. It is absolutely strange the way they treat people. And
it is.
It doesn't matter if you can afford stuff or not, right? Because you can't buy medication. Medication gets so expensive down there. So people decide that they'll go without the meds. and they go find some bush tea or something to go drink instead. And maybe it's their belief system that's keeping them alive and keep them going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Wicked, man. Wicked.
Yeah.
So
But,
with the
but,
government now,
but look at the amount of money that is being wasted. Sorry, the word, Wayne. Look at the amount of money that is being wasted and lost to corruption. The amount of money lost to corruption, Sir Herb, could have done so much for the country. Jamaica doesn't have a money problem, It's not a money problem that Jamaica has, It's a corruption problem.
Yeah.
It's the pilfering of the money, the misappropriation of funds, the people who are supposed to be spending the money instead of spending it on the areas that they get the money to spend, and they're taking it for themselves by any means necessary, and to hell with the people who need it the most. So it is not a money problem.
Well,
so unless people address the corruption problem, we are going to be talking until our teeth fall out of our gum and we have nothing but gums. Because the issue is not being addressed, which is corruption. There has to be accountability for the level of corruption that is going on in Jamaica. And right now, the Prime Minister sits at the top of that, leads that pack.
Yeah.
He leads it, and he's going to say, oh no, nobody should say I am corrupt because I don't envy nobody, no bad man, nobody for them things of house, and they don't this and they don't that. Mr. Prime Minister, have you verified your tax declarations for 2022, 2023? No, 2021, 2022? That is the question. And you are yet to verify it going in 2024.
I find it alarming that he can make such statements.
Right? Yes.
And the fact that he can boast about what he has, especially when him showing them Clark shoes of his, and he can boast about where he lives. And every man must build their own castle.
Castle, every man, every ghetto youth must have their own castle.
Not one and a two
Which ghetto
bedroom
youth?
castle.
But which ghetto youth can build a castle, Wayne? Which ghetto youth can build a castle? Think about it.
None.
Yeah, but
they can't even afford to feed their children, let alone to build a castle. You know how many poor people, it's not new, but you know how many poor people right now are going to Riverton City Dump to pick out things out of Riverton City Dump to sell to make a living?
A lot. And then by the way, the Prime Minister last set of promises, them no for than all before, Them can't promise, man.
These promises are more ginormous because he's going to make Clarkstown a city, and he's going to make Portmore Little Miami. Make some sense. How is it logical? Who is he talking to? He's going to put up what they call it now? What kind of park now for health? I forget the type of the park that he's going to put up in Portmore. And I'm thinking, okay, why not put that money into a hospital? Wellness park, a wellness park. Okay. The greatest you don't put it doesn't need to spend money on a wellness park. Spend the money in the hospitals where they can get toilet paper, where woman when she gives birth can have sanitary napkins. How can you be giving a woman paper towel after giving birth? Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine you live at Portmore and none of your kids them left them born before time, the born over them, man. And you want to tell them Paris, but you're not born there, You born either down at Jubilee or over there. Most of the time them are born at Jubilee or up university.
Exactly.
Well, you see the new long-term budget for the health ministry says that they're gonna build a new KPH. They're gonna build a new Spanish Town hospital.
Really?
And they're gonna build a new UWI hospital. Now, I believe they're only telling people that.
Yes.
So they can get the votes for next year, 25.
Yeah, but it's people sick now. I want people are dead like fly. And you have to say I build a building, but no bed, no medication, not at all. We don't want to hear that. Have what you have before, work with it. Work with it. Fix it up and make sure it run and it work properly. then you can go do what you do after.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but Beryllium Regional is there, you know. Beryllium Regional is there as an example to see whether or not they're going to build a new hospital. I mean, seriously, this is all talk.
Look, I bet you next year they must say, look, because of the overruns, we're going to have to tear this thing down.
No
After
jokes, Sir
they
Herb.
put a bunch of money in there. Right? That's the money going to go for the elections. Right? They work it out to a T. They need 20 million like the last time. They're going to get it, come by hook or by crook. They're going to get it.
Yeah. By any means necessary, they're going to get it.
But Herb, you see, when them no care them go the money now, them know say, okay, General, it's more serious because you can't buy out people again, you know. They might take your money and vote for you because them want money. Them then have foolishness.
Yep.
So you don't care where I'm going to pan down and do. Right now, you know what I want to do? Move every zinc fence out of Jamaica. And that's the next slappy appeal, you know. Because if you make the people them at work and you claim to them at work on a 4.2%, you know, everybody at work because the job market saturated. Right? You know, if you build a fence to nobody, you know, they may build them own fence. A matter of fact, if them have good job, them can build them house and build them fence and them good. Then they move the zinc fence. But when you move the zinc fence, Prime Minister, and them live in a house with teacher and them down, what difference you make for them life? Nothing at all. Them stay same way. Nothing. You build a wall around them and they still, them house and them down by chichi. Because you know, build the house for them neither, you know, just a fence. Still no make no sense. It don't.
When he says all these things, it's just a hype. It's just a hype so that people can believe in them and what they're gonna do. And they haven't done anything for nobody. Right?
Yes.
The water situation. I mean, when I was there, I'm changing the water tank. So we have to empty the old one and put another one up. But you need 3 to 4 hours. 4 hours it takes to fill that darn thing. And before it can fill up, when the water shut off. So you have to wait till it's like 6 o'clock the next morning, the water come back on to finish filling up the tank. Right? So you have all of these things going on, and you hear people complaining how difficult it is to live and what they have. Matter of fact, while we're changing the tank, about 3 people stopped by the house and asking for the old tank. Because them don't have to fill it up. Them will take it about 2/3 of the way. And it will work for them. Right? So I gave it away to some old retired guy. You know? So you have so many people that can't afford the cost of living down there. Especially with the schools. But guess what? They're prosecuting mothers who don't send their kids to school.
So you see what me I talk about, so you turn them in a criminal now. Them not have nothing to send them to school. But you prosecute mothers now. It makes sense.
Them. Yep. It's some weird stuff that's going on. And you ask the people, say, well, why don't you just tell them you can't afford it?
You cannot afford it. They can't prosecute somebody them cannot afford it. What am I gonna do? Get up on your hungry, you don't give them nothing to eat and you send them go walk and drop down. That not reverse. Eh?
That's it. That's it. Because
you don't have no bus, so you don't have no money. And they might prosecute you now. So when you prosecute, they might lock up the mother now when others are single mother. What happened to the kids? You leave them at home for predator to pick them up?
Yep.
Because you don't have no place to go put them neither, you know?
It
doesn't make sense. You see, everything with them do it back way. Yes. Hey, tonight, me tell the people them this. I'll show them something, right? Because we have Kings of Kings have a 3-day show come up and I'm gonna give her some ticket. See, so I'm gonna show on it, but When I see more in the week, yeah? See it, yeah? That's the 10th. Yeah? That's a professor not something. And this is in Canada, you know. Our road and thing. So we have some ticket away, I give you and everything. When I see him put out some ads and them thing there. And then the 11th, you see one will perform. Richie Stevens, yeah? What again that? Singing melody. And what again right there, so let me tell you right now. Yeah, Richie Stevens, singing melody, and Thriller You. Yeah, and then the 12th there, so Luciana, Turbulence, Stitchy. So let me also nice show this. And then I give her some ticket, you know. Now I give her, you know, I put up some things and I ask them and give her some ticket to in the Toronto area and thing, you know. The one of them places, you know, the one of them places. Yeah. When you know, when you can call in and win some ticket. So me tell you, come here, I ask you some things from them, yeah? All right. So me just tell them from now, you know, Kings of King promotion. So when you just the code for that show, yeah, in a May, the 10th, 11th, and 12th. I'll give you some ticket too, yeah? All right. So now win some ticket. Remember that, yeah? All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
So is Stitchy still singing?
Yeah, man.
Dancehall. I'm singing.
Yeah, of course. Dance, of course. I'm doing gospel to the same way and thing, but dance already the same way. Everything same way.
I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Why Stitchy, man? Stitchy good same way, man. Stitchy good, man. Yeah. So we're gonna put up that with them, you know. Let them see it. And then we'll have them have Glen Washington too, you know, Norris man, Natty King them. They are coming in too. So you know, then they may tell them the rest, but may I put up that. You know, soon. So some people can win some ticket too. I know so them show they're nice show. Yeah. Winner the place can win some ticket. Yeah, yeah, man. Winner the place can win some tickets. You understand? Yeah, man. Winner the place can win some ticket. Anyway, Herb, we have, you know, happy Easter to enough people. Happy holiday when it come in tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
I want to see if we not see me, you know, so yeah. The chopping Tuesday. Yes.
Don't eat too much bun and cheese.
No cheese on it. Well, but you know, so enough of them now have the bun and cheese, you know. No people don't have the bun and cheese, you know.
Is that right?
I don't think they have bread.
Expensive. You see the cost of them bun?
The bun?
Yeah. I think it's $1,800. Between $1,500 to $1,800 for a bun.
Yeah.
Down in the island. And the cheese is just as expensive. And it's only a little piece of triangular shaped cheese they give you.
So the big thing of cheese where you used to get for the clan, no, it cut down.
It cut down.
The little thing you get now for bigger money.
Yeah, they have to cut it up. They make more money cutting it up and selling it that way.
People can't feed themselves again, man. And that must be the aim of the government, though. For about 3 minutes. You know, the aim of the government for make people can, you know, you can afford to feed yourself and your family.
Yeah.
You can go to school and you have look at work and you know you have good health system, education system of your yes. And when they up it cut down crime too, you know. It cut down crime, man. Crime can't go away like that, you know, but it cut it down, hold it back down, man. Yeah? But when you fail in all those areas, you know, it's a failed state. You fail. And that's the truth. Yeah. Not true, Herb.
Yeah, man.
When them fail, they say them fail in all areas, man. You know, them fail in the education system.
They're failing badly.
Yes.
Right? And you know, want to know something? The churches, them down there, they're very concerned now. Because their numbers are going down as well. And some of them going out of business.
You're right. It was a business.
Yeah, they can't understand why their constituents having so many problems.
Yeah.
But the problem is because them don't make enough money anymore. And you can't compare them and say, well, how much it is? Tithe is how much? 10 or 20%. Man can't get that much money anymore, right? Because when him get all that money, he can't buy stuff for the kids there, and I'm sure as hell can't feed the family. Food's too expensive.
Yes, man. Yes, man. But it's terrible. I'm not joking. Terrible, man. Terrible. And the government, you know, it's a plastic government with us do PR, and the PR not work. I want to tell her just say PR not work. Yeah? We have a minute and still in the Maria, and we know so we want for a run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're Easter now, so we just want to knock it on the dot.
Yeah,
You know?
so many things going on behind the scenes, you know.
Of
But
course, you know, I be clear, you know, but you know, but
things just cannot continue as is because people are suffering at the end of the day. And if we don't stand up for the people, who is going to do it? And my prayer is that they really become informed voters and not vote for hype because the hype will not work. And another thing we have to talk about is Chairman James. What is happening with Chairman James?
Well, they might try to throw him out. They might try to throw him out and put in somebody else. They might forget himself because that them do all the time. They might try to throw him out.
We have to have a serious
going back in the rank and file, you know. I mean, we're not police, we're not in a job, you know. By the time about your friend, you know, I might have your colleagues, them, but you have to be careful of them because I'm tell you this. Them same one want your position. So if you have a one stripe, they want it. They want even cast it. Remember, it's a job, you know, and they give them more money and all kind of things. You know, a job, they want it. And though they must skin them teeth with you, they want it. See? And they may betray if you get it. You have to just do it, and that's just the fact. You have to just start the job.
That is the word. That is the word. That is the operative word there, Wayne. Betray. They will betray you to get it.
So no, some of them might have to them say, yes, you're good enough, you are the greatest. Then say, man, I do that. We take the job, man. They can go sit on one side.
In a lot of cases, you know, I think that they pit people against each other.
Yes.
They know the money that they're bringing in won't work. And they know the people going to have to do something illegal to go make extra money. Right? So all you have to do is wait. You wait long enough, you're going to catch somebody with some kind of stolen goods in their vehicle or with a weapon that they're going to use in commission of a crime.
Right.
And them things is not fair to people. You know? So it's like, you know, do or die.
So my word to run, James, them want to work. And them a fight hard for figure out your work. Them same one right in your organization with this. And them want to take your work from you too, yeah? And you have some
but you'd also
them scared. I've just scared 1,000 to come out, them have to listen. Yes.
Not only that, but also you would think that the judiciary, though they get it right sometimes, should get it right all the time. You know, what is happening with his case, you know, leaves a lot of unanswered questions. And it's something that, you know, we might have to talk about you know, more seriously. Because if it happens to him, it can happen to anybody else. And what we are trying to avoid is the nepotism and the cronyism, and to get people who know the job to do the job and not to sabotage people and retaliate against people for speaking up. Because basically, what has happened to Co-Chairman James is retaliation. For speaking up for the very people who don't have the weapons, who are dying in the line of duty.
But you see, this is
Speaking
what
up for them.
they use that to keep the middle management in line. In other words, your pension is on the line. You step out the line like Chairman James did. He's not a middle manager, but him is over the police union, right?
Yeah.
And so if superintendents, deputies, or assistant superintendents can do what Chairman James does, then they can't really represent their rank and file, right? So James step up on their behalf. And now I think they want to put somebody else in there to replace him.
Yeah.
But to me,
yes, man. Go ahead.
This case is going to the Privy Council, right?
I'm unsure.
No, no reach us.
It don't reach it, but it's at the appeals level. Court
At the
level.
appeals court. Yes, yes.
What am I doing? Take the work for me, you know. Them don't want to strip the work. And them I push people in
But
there.
not only taking away the work, Wayne, is the punishment and the harassment,
political,
and the insults and all on top of it, on top of that. So I would think that this commissioner, who says he's commissioner, everybody wants to give him a fair shake, would do the right thing and make sure there's no retaliation against anybody within the JCF.
Okay.
You know, so it cannot be, because Googs is not there, is no longer there. So what is the problem?
So what happened to your case against Googs? That goes away.
That dead man, I move around Googs move and him move, you know. I'll be asking me, I kiss him ring. Man, I kiss him ring, so I gotta look on that now and then go for burn him. Can we not leave Googs like that night, you know? Well, him no around there, I wear the fast suit. So when you take it out, I does. Because that was the mission anyway.
No, but when he left an earthquake in his wake. He left, but he left a tragedy behind him.
Yes. Because them didn't try. Yeah.
There's a new guy taking over crime as of tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see Fitzbailey name anywhere.
He might go home soon.
So them forcing him out.
No, him for go home. He reach 60 now. He might reach 60.
Okay.
Him for go home. Yeah. Then go kiss.
They're all part of the corruption problem. They're all part of the corruption problem on why Jamaica is the way it is. Because they didn't do their job. Because Patrick Bailey should have been charged. You have SSL and the directors. The directors of the company were not interrogated, were not arrested, none of that. What kind of a country was like that? A man and a person who has 2 people in the house and 1 is dead. And the only other person who last saw him alive, you're going to say, oh, he's not a person of interest? Rubbish.
Well, time will tell.
All right. We're going to go feed myself on a Sunday, because, it go. I'm going to make me use my word now. I'm going to eat my big clear.
Indeed. And Sir Herb, have a blessed week, and I will talk. Much respect, my brother.
Yes. So I'm for the him holiday, and we not have to explain them. Then my family and them thing, them and I watch him the one trade, I for cut down and dip on them thing, and when him done that now, you see him. So I'm to when my way go up on holiday.
Yeah, man, Ratigan is good.
Herb take up a holiday the other day, you know. You don't forget. Herb them never say go up on holiday.
I wish that was holiday, man.
Yeah, Herb, you hear him again.
I never saw the ocean except from the plane.
Yeah, I'm up on the plane. You hear him? All right. Later, we're there, yeah?
Blessings every time, yes.
Yo, bless